everybody. Welcome back to Star Wars Echoes of Eternity. Before we started, we were trying to fix Strippin's thing here because last time, here's the thing. We have great fans, and they come in, they're like, you did it wrong, Cox. It usually happens. So we're trying to address one of ULAGO's character stats. And I'm just looking up a bit of information here. Apparently, the rules lawyers at the firm of
Twitch Chat Inc.
Yeah, Twitch Chat Inc. Decided that we cannot have him level up a characteristic, only skills. Characteristics, I guess, can only be leveled up at character creation, which is fine. I was fine with it. I was just, in my mind, things are about to get a lot worse for them. So I was like, all right, I'll give him this one. But you're right, chat. He does have a.
I don't want to be too strong.
He does have the best weapon in the game. So you know, it could. Anyway,
I don't actually remember what I leveled last session because it was 2 weeks ago. So that's what we're doing right now.
I'm trying to look for on my big stack of information here what his species' original starting stats were, and I'm just scrolling through. You caught me scrolling through as we were doing this.
Caught you scrolling.
They caught me scrolling. Anyway, while I'm scrolling, look at you. You all look so great today. What is happening?
Shucks.
We take a week off and you come back and everyone's looking fabulous. Wow, I'm very impressed.
Think so, because I have some sort of allergic reaction happening this eye that is making it just cry constantly.
Oh, me too. That's been like the last month. Oh, yeah, my right eye keeps crying. Yeah, I think it's an allergic thing.
Yeah, I'm allergic to something. I don't know what, but so when I'm going like this for a lot of the session, or like this, because I'm just trying to plug up my tear ducts,
or just sobbing in a beautiful moment.
Yeah, I'm just trying to cover up the fact that I'm so emotional to be here. Is really what it is.
All right, so your original character, Sam, is 2 brawn, 3 agility, 2 intellect, 1 cunning, 2 willpower, 2 presence. So at some point along the way, you buffed brawn
so
by 1.
Last episode I took brawn up by 1 and cunning up by 1. So I'm going to just refund those points and spend them a different way.
You may do so. What are you going to spend them on?
I don't know.
What do I do with my chat channel? Where'd the chat go? Chat, no! I lost you!
Brawn to 3 was 30. Cunning to 2 was 20. So okay. I have 50 points.
Oh, that's right. You saved them all. Now you're now you have too much damn money.
I have 50 skill points.
You are living your best life right now. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
While you figure that out, I'm also going to tweet because I forgot to tweet. This is where we're at today. This is that kind of day. It's time for Echoes!
I could level more sharpshooter talents.
Let's just bank our entire strategy on your rifle.
Yeah. Stuff.
I'm down with that.
My skill proficiency in heavy weapons is of the kind of level now where if I pick up a stick and it's a ranged heavy attack, then it's gonna kill someone.
Nice.
Not bad.
Okay.
Let's have a look.
All right.
My sharpshooter talent tree.
I'm ready for today. Today's gonna be fun, y'all. I'm so excited. Well, all right. Fun for me. Fun for me. I don't know about any of you, but fun for me is gonna be great. All right, I'm gonna close that screen.
When is an encounter with the Hutts not fun?
You know what? I've said that repeatedly for years, and everyone kind of laughed at me like, Jesse, you're an idiot. True.
Could we get a microphone on a long pole and interview people down in Sarlacc's stomach?
I used to be a Mandalorian. My name was Boba. Been really lonely down here. Okay. I'm going to clear the pool if you would all be so kind as to roll for me your destiny points.
Oh, yeah.
It's that kind of day, I can tell.
Oh, man.
It's that kind of day.
I am on a light side streak.
Carry me.
Okay. I know what I'm spending my stuff on.
Okay. Talk to me. What is your vibe?
I'm just going deeper into my sharpshooter talent tree.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna take a second level of sniper shot, a second level of true aim, and a 1 level of crippling blow.
All right. With all of those, make sure to remind me when you get into a fight with that kind of thing, so I can remember to mark it down. Actually, I'm gonna be a smart boy, and next time you get into combat, I'm gonna I'm gonna like sticky note the hell out of my desktop and just. You don't have to remind me. I should be prepared.
I
Like
will
an
remind
adult.
you. This is my build. It's my job. to
Thank
remind
you. Like an adult. Thank you. All right. I just need you to roll now, Ulago, and we can begin this nonsense. While you do that, I'm going to see who I can punish today.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Probably
okay.
Pocket, right?
You know what, Pocket? Here's the thing. Not only do I roll often, Pocket, I enjoy doing so. So it's great for me.
Please don't roll
I
it
know where you
here.
got a
Of all-
combo going.
Of all places, please do not roll me here.
No way.
They're like,
What? I would
You
never.
get a call from those guys again. There's a payoff. We want you to take the money out of the vault.
All right.
Oh, so you're
Take
in
the
Nar
fall.
Shaddaa, huh? Oh, great.
Oh, we got stuff there we need.
Nice, nice SWOTOR photos.
I was gonna
You're
say.
welcome.
I remember that area.
I wanted to capture where you're actually at and give you the vibe. And yeah, I couldn't. All the real like canonical photos of Nar Shaddaa are like scummy, seedy streets. I was like, no, it's Hutt days, people. It is vibrant. People are going crazy. So yeah, it's looks like it did 10,000 years ago.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Wow, PR3
I
and
rolled
ULAGO.
dark side.
Haha, it's that kind of day, baby. All right.
We're
Oh
going
my
to
goodness,
die.
I'm ready. Okay, so let's get funky with this. The crown jewel of the Underworld! In an attempt to make their way into the Crimson Dawn flagship First Light, DAEYO FANG has convinced her friends to join her in hunting down the men who kidnapped her sister. But upon arriving at the Hutt world of Nar Shaddaa, just in time for the planet-wide Hutt's Day celebration, they learn things are far worse than expected. The Hutts, Black Sun, Pykes, and Death Watch have all sided with the mysterious leader under the banner of a newly formed Shadow Collective. Unsure how to proceed, PR3 and ULAGO help Odo from Deep Space Nine help Oda acquire a gorgeous Naboo-style gown in hopes of gaining the favor of one of the Hutt's lieutenants. This has led her to the one and only Cheezle. And that is where we pick up again. Oda, as you enter as the group of you enter this bar, you notice that it is packed. People are everywhere, but it's a high-class establishment. All the dresses and gowns and outfits are gorgeous. The only people that don't look like that, who aren't in a suit or a gorgeous gown, are the people who look like bodyguards. And last time, if you remember, ULAGO saw another one and was like, yo, yeah, I'm definitely her bodyguard though, right?
Yeah. We had a little bodyguard nod.
Yeah, bodyguard Nard. Nard? It's gonna be that kind of night.
Bodyguard
Odo
Nard.
and Nard. And so the group of you go into this bar, and you see at the end a large group of people gathered around someone, and you're not really sure who this person is. But Oda, as you approach and you make your way through the group, you see surrounded by 4 beautiful women, this tiny creature, like a hairy man, but also wearing the fur of what appears to be a small bear-like creature, and his tiny little paws of the outfit are like sort of hanging off his hands as little gloves, but you can see they're the paws of some sort of other creature, and he's laughing loudly, just like that's how he laughs, and he is holding in his hands 2 glasses of his trademarked Cheezle drink, and he's holding it out the side, and 2 of the beautiful women that are around him are drinking it. And you notice, very strangely to you, that while these women are, galactic beauties, they aren't what you normally see in associated with like like Hutt crime lords and stuff. They aren't like a Twi'leks or a human woman or whatever. The 4 women around him, just to describe them to you. You can see as they caress his drinks and his chair that he's on, and one woman lays at the feet of him. The first one is a female basilisk, a giant, hairy, multi-armed humanoid. Her outfit is black with gold sequins, and the fur on her body sort of blends in with the fur on the outfit, and you can't really tell where the fur on her body starts and ends compared to the outfit. It kind of all blends together. She has sort of a beakish mouth that looks like it's sort of popping out from a tuft of fur around her face, and eyes that glare into your soul. Next to her is a Dug woman. A skin-tight dress covers most of her body, but you can see, due to strategic slits in different parts of the outfit, that really what's going on is, even though it appears that she's standing, what's happening is that the things popping out of her sleeves are not her hands, but in fact her feet. And her hands are holding her up from the ground. And her feet are holding, one is holding a drink between her toes, and the other is holding what appears to be some sort of Ronto wrap. And she sips the cocktail. Yes, if you want to know what a Dug is, think Sebulba. And she sips the cocktail with her hands. The other woman that's there is a 3-eyed Gran woman. Her leathery skin, dangling antenna, and bulbous 3 eyes look around sort of all over the place. She's definitely the most distracting of the 3 because it seems like she's taking in everything and you at the same time. The outfit she wears is a tiny red number, but she keeps pulling it down as I think it's like slightly riding up on her. The last, laying at his feet, is a Mon Calamari woman. Dark green fish features as she peers at you, determining your intention and why you've approached Cheezle the Great. She has dark colored spots that trickle down from the ridge of her sort of like bulbous forehead down to her mouth, and her mouth does that fishy thing. That fishy thing that's like, you know, that thing? She does that as she's breathing and sort of looking at you. Her fish-like features are covered by a dress made of shells, and you can't really tell if it's like an ironic purchase or if she just loves shells. And she's like flicking the shells, sort of like as they like flick and then immediately come back to the dress. And she lays on the ground next to Cheezle and just sort of like looks at you, sort of like, what are you doing here? And Cheezle notices you and is immediately taken by your incredibly stunning dress. And he stands up from his chair and like almost floats over to you in the least graceful float imaginable. And he looks at you and says, "Oh, pretty lady."
I am immediately going to try to charm him just with one like confident extension of my hand for like a a kiss or whatever.
Yeah.
And I do something with charming. I'm trying to find it. When making checks with charm, spend it's a triumph thing. Never mind, but I'm still gonna do it.
Okay.
Ha.
Yes. Oh my goodness. You easily succeed. Cheezle looks at you and is just smitten. You can tell immediately he has fallen in love with you, yet knows nothing about you. Perhaps it's the drinks. Perhaps it's just Cheezle. You don't know. And he pulls you towards him and his group of adorning, like these beautiful aliens who surround him. And he pulls you towards them and he says to them, "Lady! Meet this beautiful lady. She joined us." And all 4 of them look at you and let out an exacerbated sigh. Just
These are the other women that were there?
yes.
Okay.
They all look and they're just like over you already.
I want to also try to charm them by making a big point to like meet every single one of them and like, kind of like curtsy to them and stuff.
Yeah. Let's try. This is you have to do an overall charm. No,
They don't like me.
sorry. You you go to sort of like present yourself to them and win them over. And as you do, Cheezle just pulls you towards his chair. He's like, no, not them, me. And he pulls you towards the chair, and you sort of like end up sitting on one of the arms of the chair. And he's like, what I get you to drink, lady?
Oh, one of those. I point to the mudslide drinks that what's it called? Cheezle's something.
Oh god, I'm gonna have to go back to episode 1 notes. It was Cheezle something or other. It was 100% a mudslide.
And chat
for
has
sure.
to remember.
I
I
need to
remember
find
it being
this.
a mudslide type drink.
It was definitely a mudslide. Oh my goodness, where is this? It's before episode 16. I just gotta. I can't believe I have to go back this far. It was. Oh, this might take forever to find it. Just know it was a mudslide. I'll look for it in the future.
That's okay.
And so, yeah.
Oda looks to the rest of her party like, okay, we're in. What now?
Yeah, the rest of your party is beyond the group of there's sort of the women, there's you and Cheezle. The women are like sort of a step down, and then beyond that is a large group of people who've surrounded Cheezle because he's like a Hutt lieutenant. So they're all trying to kiss ass and stuff. And then beyond that, on the other side, is the 3 of your friends.
Above game, I don't remember what I'm supposed to convince him to do.
Sure, you were sent in there because your overall plan is that you are trying to convince Cheezle, who's a Hutt lieutenant for Fatula the Hutt, to let you. If you remember last time, you met with one of DAEYO's friends, a guy named
friend, quote unquote, right?
Yeah, a guy named Dash Barand, who was a kind of a cocky bastard, and he sent you to go meet Lieutenant. You're gonna try and meet some Hutt lieutenant, get in, because your objective is to get the attention of a Hutt who will then allow you in to like a higher level of the crime organization so you can get access to the meeting place that I guess whatever's going to go down with this Shadow Collective. And so you are just trying to like impress a Hutt right now, and you know that you are near one of the major Hutts, and so you're gonna try and like get in with his lieutenant. So your plan is to just kiss his ass, I guess.
Yeah, so then I'll just, I tell him about how I had this drink on that other planet. It was so amazing. I had 7 of them. I kept all the collectible glasses. I am such a big fan. You have to tell me where you came up with the inspiration for this amazing drink, which is easy because Oda actually thinks all these things.
Yeah, and he looks at you. You don't even have to roll for this because you're just being honest. And he looks at you and he's so impressed that the mudslide that's half drank in one of the hands of one of his other women, he pulls out and gives to you. And he's like, "Your drink is so good."
Well, but can't I have a fresh one?
It's fresh. It's brand new.
Oh, sips it.
Yeah, and he gives it to you, and as you sip it, you can taste like it's definitely not fresh. It's not it isn't chilled. It's not fresh at all. It's not really that great. But
different than the one I had before.
More flavor?
Like that.
Yes. He just like keeps nodding at you.
Them?
It comes in bottle.
Oh, I'll have to take some home.
Okay, you come home with me, yes?
Yes.
All of the other women there look at you and just again, sigh. Just over you. Just over you. And you can see that as he ignores the group around him, they start to sort of fade away and move away from the conversation because he's no longer paying attention to them, and they get nothing from talking to him. So they start to move away. And as they do, you can see as the crowd disperses behind them, DAEYO, ULAGO, and PR3 staring at you. Do you do anything as you now see Oda just on the arm of this little tiny, very creepy... It was called Cheezle's Delight. That's exactly what it was.
Cheezle's Delight, yes.
Drinking Cheezle's Delight.
I am dubious about the utility of this encounter.
I mean, the most popular person in the room has taken an interest in her. It's kind of the best thing we could have hoped for. So let's just keep an eye on her and see where it goes.
Fair enough.
Is there anyone else watching them while she's at the table?
Excellent question. Boy, I would love a perception check from you. You can't tell, but you sense that probably not. It's probably the case that like someone's watching for sure.
I just can't tell if like who it would be or whatever.
Or where. No, you just can't tell.
Okay.
ULAGO, you pick up on the fact that DAEYO is like looking around, trying to see if anyone's watching. And you notice that in the corner of the room, there is a masked individual who has been sitting there for some time, just like watching only Chisel. Kind of think like Aragorn in the pub, in that like shadowy corner, just like staring.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That kind of thing.
Perfect analogy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. DAEYO.
Yeah.
Look at that guy in the corner. Make it subtle.
I make it subtle. I just slowly, like I'm just scanning the
Can you- crowd.
I make it subtle.
Can you roll for me?
Nope. No. Absolutely not.
Wait, do
I
I
would
hear?
love for you to roll stealth. Thank you very much.
Why?
Cause I care
This
so
better
much.
not be someone I know.
He's
Mhm.
oh.
Totally stealthy.
Mhm.
You completely just like do that like thing. You see everything.
No,
And
I
I
think
size
I
up the
make it
entire
more
room.
like I'm just like looking about, like people watching, you know, and then I casually look towards them.
Did I hear ULAGO?
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh,
Of course you
God.
did. You have super hearing. You're a droid.
Yeah, you're a
There's a
droid.
guy. What? Where?
You're the worst. You're the worst.
Thankfully, it's
Mike.
so loud in there, no one actually hears what you say. Plus, you're a droid, so no one
Okay,
pays
no one
attention to you
cares.
anyway.
Lucky.
Yeah, no one cares. They just assume
'Cause
you're.
I was
malfunctioning.
definitely looking.
Yeah, they don't care.
Let's keep an eye on that guy because my guess is
Absolutely.
he wants Cheezle. And if we
Do I
happen to save
recognize-
someone of value,
Oh, sorry.
Do you recognize them? Is that what you're gonna say?
Do I recognize anything like on him or about him? Does he have like any like, you know, logos or symbols on him or
No symbols, no logos. He is in just what appears to be normal street clothes, but he just has a mask on, like a mask covering his face and like a leather jacket, but he's hidden in the shadows. So you can't tell if it's a mask that is like, I need this to breathe on this planet, or if it's a mask that's like, I'm covering my face because I'm evil. You just can't tell.
Okay, I think I would just keep an eye on him.
Okay. So, meanwhile, Oda, Cheezle is ordering you more drinks and has now completely ignored the 4 increasingly vicious alien women who are sitting at his feet. And you can see them like glaring, like giving eyes to each other and then looking at you. And Cheezle's just like, the best way to describe it is like a kid in a very big chair. His feet don't even come out over the edge of the chair, and he's just very happy, and he's sort of like butt waddling. I don't know how to describe it. Like, you know, just like
Yeah.
very, very happy about the whole situation. And he can't stop staring at your dress. And he's just, you can hear him muttering under his breath, like, beautiful color, beautiful colors.
So he really likes blue, apparently.
Yeah, like you have a this like gorgeous multi-layered flowy Naboo dress,
Mm-hmm.
and he just loves it. And he keeps
Yeah.
like you catch him like kind of touching the fabric, and you can't tell if he likes you or the dress.
It doesn't really matter. As long
Right.
as he likes something, that's fine.
Yeah.
I also want to know I will not drink the half drunk drink that he got me. I will try to like quietly put it aside. But if he gets me a fresh one, I will totally drink a Cheezle Delight.
He kind of picks up on what you're doing as you put down the half-drank Cheezle Delight, and he like snaps his fingers, and 2 servo droids like roll over, and they have just more ready, and you can see they're nice and frosted, and they hand them off to you. They hand you 2, and he goes, "2 is enough, yes."
Oh. She takes both of them.
Oh, you like the Cheezle Delight?
They're my favorite.
I know you are good. You are so good. And he like lets out a little cheer and a laugh, and it echoes through the entire bar to the point where like it's almost that awkward. There's just a brief moment of silence, and all you hear,
Everybody looks.
yes, like like, and everyone's just like, oh boy, Cheezle, what a dick. And he goes back to just sort of like being happy with himself. You're not sure if he's crazy or if he just is like it just like acts like a child. You're not sure. You can't tell, but he's definitely not all there.
Then I guess I'm just gonna say, like, I'm telling him how Cheezle Delight is my favorite, and I'm like, you know what else I'm a big fan of? Fatula the Hutt. Isn't she amazing?
Fatula! Big Mama! I love
Yes,
Fatula!
Big Mama, yes. Fatula. Isn't she amazing?
Yes, you like Fatula?
Oh, someday I'd love to meet her.
Oh! You make dress like that for Fatula?
I don't know how to make a dress, but she
How
could.
you make this dress?
Oh, I bought it. I wouldn't make my own dress. Don't be silly. And she like pinches his cheek. Silly
He looks at
Cheezle.
you. He looks at you kind of disappointed.
Oh man.
He thought for a minute you had made this dress, and he looks at the other lady. He goes, "They make their dress," and he points to the other women, and they look at you, and they just all smirk like, "You messed up, lady."
Dang it. I look at my party for help at this point.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm in too deep. Help me.
You can tell Ulago saying, "But you made it. You made it." He's just mouthing it. You made
What
it.
do I do now? Oh, I made the dress. Oh, I mean, I made it. I made this dress myself. But
You
that was money.
and he looks at you. He looks at you. He's like, "Dress made of money? How you make this out of credits?" And he like starts rubbing the ends of the dress and sort of like rubbing it between his fingers, and his eyes are like, and he cannot figure out what you just told him. It's
Secret cultural recipe.
yo, wow! I have to tell Fatula. And he like grabs you, and just drags you out of the bar. Just like pulls you out of the bar and like walks you as fast as his little feet can carry him down the streets. No concern for anyone else.
Well,
Two
there
big
they go.
Gamorreans. Two big Gamorreans like stand in front of him, like pushing dudes out of the way and oinking as they do it. They're like,
I would immediately push Ulago towards them, but I would stay to watch and see what happens with the scary guy.
I
Sure.
follow.
What do you do, PR3?
I gotta stay with DAEYO.
Okay. Yeah. Ulago,
Actually, I think what I'd say then is if he's gonna stay, I'd say, you know what? Keep an eye on that guy. If he gets up and comes after us, it might not be good for us.
There's a guy. What? Where?
Oh my god,
Does
you
he
gotta
look
keep
weird?
Do you have a volume button?
What button?
In the corner, the guy with the mask, you know, kind of creepy looking.
He has a button on his mask. It's very loud in here.
You know what? Follow ULAGO. And I push him.
Off.
And I stay behind for a moment.
Yeah. Will you give me a perception check?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Okay. You stay behind. You look over in the corner and notice that the guy is missing.
Well, shit. I walk out too.
He probably used that button on his mask.
Yeah, he used it when invisible.
Yeah, you leave, and so the order is Oda is being dragged down the street as ULAGO follows slightly behind. Slightly behind ULAGO is PR3, and slightly behind PR3 is DAEYO. I don't know if you all want to wait for each other, if you just want to keep going as is, but that's the order you're in right now.
Well, we've got comm links. I'm just going to try and keep sight of Cheezle and Co.
Okay.
I'll probably like direct them and give them instructions on where they turn left and right.
Mm-hmm.
As you relay the instructions, Oda, Chisel's just dragging you down the street. He's barely even talking. He almost is just like giddy laughing to himself. He's extremely excited just to be like holding your hand. And again, you're not sure why. You simply don't know what his like interest in you is. He is
really
though
into seamstresses. He's
Yeah.
really into fabricators.
He certainly has some sort of interest in you beyond just who you are as a person. And he begins to drag you towards this massive grand structure, this castle that is sort of pyramid in shaped. Again, it kind of looks like the big corporate building in Blade Runner. That's sort of like pyramid with like the other walls just like coming off of it, and little towers poking out the top. The Tyrell Corp, I believe it's called. But whatever the case may be, he's dragging you towards this, and you can see that the closer you get to the actual palace, the less and less there are people walking around. You do recognize this as being very close to where you actually parked your ship, but
That's convenient.
it's very obvious that as you get closer, you notice that it's more and more actual like thugs and guards and people working for Ftula rather than the crowd of thousands, hundreds of thousands in the streets that are celebrating, walking around with giant Hutt signs and like dressed up as Hutts and all sorts of things. As you approach, you come to this large grand door, and from out of the door, a hole opens and a little eyeball pops out and says,
Ooh,
and
one of those.
Chisel says, I brought friend, the best friend. And it's like, and gets sucked back in, and the doors slowly open. And inside, two masked figures that look very, very similar to the masked figures, ULAGO, that you saw. Well, he's gone.
Well,
Yeah, too bad for
Well.
him. So they look very, very, from a DM perspective, they look very, very familiar to you in that they look like the other masked figure that you saw in the bar. You enter, and you can see that this grand palace is just so ornamental, so beautiful, but in the most gaudy, awful, terrible way. In a way that only a Hutt would appreciate. And there are futons everywhere with like very strung out species of creatures, all of them high as kites. You can see that there are people being like dragged around in chains. You can see that there's like a bunch of like tough guys walking around, like sort of punching each other a little bit, like giving each other crap. It's what you would expect from just a very terrible, awful Hutt's lair. Behind you, ULAGO, you begin to approach this massive door that Oda has gone through into the Hutt's castle. And DAEYO, you're slightly behind that with PR3. What do you want to do?
I also don't want to go in without them. So if they're like getting shut out and I'm being ushered inside, I'm definitely fighting that.
Okay. Are you going to try and stop Cheezle?
Because I'd be like, my friends. I can't go inside without my friends.
Ayo, friend!
Yes, but isn't it lovely to have more than one friend? And these are more like servant friends.
Oh, servant friend. I have many servant friend. And he like claps his hands and a bunch of like tiny Alina, the little tiny like lizard people sort of like run out of the walls and surround him. And they're somehow smaller than he is. And they all look up at him and they're like, Master! And he looks down at them and goes, yes! And they all like cheer. And then he points to Ulago and he's like, bring them in, bring them in. And all these, like a wave of like 30 little tiny lizard people start running at you, Ulago. And they all begin to like hold their hands out, trying to grab onto you and pull you in.
Okay. Yeah. Just kind of like go with the flow, I guess. This is where she went, right? I saw it.
Yeah. You literally saw her walk inside the Hutt's palace.
Okay, yeah. Then I'll just get dragged in.
Let me see if we can find if people want to see what these. You want to see what they look like? Here's a great example. God bless Star Wars sometimes. Oh my god, this is perfect image. This is what they look like. All these little cuties.
Oh my
This
gosh.
right here. This is what
They're so cute.
Yeah, that's who's come to whisk you away and steal you into
God.
There's
And they're
like,
like 2 feet tall.
they're shorter than that. They are so they're like maybe a foot and a half. They're so
Oh
tiny.
my gosh. I love them.
And they're all going to grab. Yeah, they're also a little coked out. You're right. Good job, JP. They're a little coked out. And so they're all like grabbing you, Ulago, and dragging you in, and they're like, yeah! And he's like, yeah! And the yes, one of them was a pod racer in episode 1. And so they drag you in, Ulago. PR3, DAEYO, you see Ulago being assaulted by, from your estimation, maybe 30 tiny little creatures.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're muted, Pocket.
Oh, I haven't talked yet.
Sorry.
Wait, so we're not. I'm too far behind to go in, huh?
You're not too far behind to go in, but you're too far behind to like be dragged in with the group.
I think I just sort of like casually walk in. You know, whenever you see like the hero dragged away and then like their friend just like walks behind, like whatever. I think that's what
Are
you
we
do,
just
DAEYO.
walking in then?
Yeah.
Unnerving.
Try not to talk too much, okay? Okay.
I was complying.
Oh, all right. All right. Yeah. Okay, keep doing that.
The group of you, first, Ulago is dragged in, but also walking in after are DAEYO and PR3. And the as you enter, you see again this grand palace, an interior that is sort of a like a marble, but if there was such a thing as disgusting marble, like marble that could possibly be gross looking, like instead of, you know, what we all imagine marble to look like, it was brown and just sort of like poop colored marble, just gross.
So
An
part
ornament.
of the Marvel extended universe.
In fact, it is. Yes, that's right. That's right. I hope you know that I rolled you today. And I'm going to punish you for that. So I just feel like I should let you know in advance.
It was an awful joke, and I deserve it.
So, but off that terrible marble is this like beautiful gold inlay and filigree, and it's clear that If you were to go to the bathroom, the refresher would be gold as well. Everything about this place is gross and gaudy and awful. And fecal marble. Yeah, that sounds like a great name for it. And so and so he pulls you further and further inside this facility, and you notice that you're passing many, many hallways. You're clearly going towards the grand entrance chamber inside. And as you do, you can take the time to like sort of peek and see what's going on here, but at least for you, Oda, it's very overwhelming. He's like dragging you through. You've never seen anything quite like this in your life, period. I don't know about the others, but you personally have never been like in a Hutt's palace. This is impressive, but like also based on, you know, who you are as a person, kind of like disgusting.
I'm just like allowing myself to be dragged in and like, you know, smiling and nodding basically at Cheezle and making sure I don't lose the rest of my party. I feel like she recognizes that now the river is pulling her along and she's just not fighting it.
Sure. So you behind her, DAEYO, ULAGO, and PR3, you notice that she's sort of just being dragged along. Do you take time to stop and look at anything, or are you just trying to follow her specifically?
I'd like to do a perception check.
Yo, that's what I like to hear. Talk to me. Yeah, it's a little stressful, this whole environment, but
This isn't my crowd, you know.
yeah, what are you trying to look for? What are you trying to perceive right now?
Well, one thing I'm trying to perceive is the guy, if he's anywhere nearby, and then is anyone specifically besides like the servants and Cheezle, someone that kind of looks a little more nefarious involved in this crowd with
Yeah.
Oda.
So I want to see what, ULAGO, you didn't succeed, but you rolled your triumph. What do you want to use that for? And let's see if we can.
ULAGO bumps shoulders with someone of significant interest, but is too focused on Oda to even notice and keeps
Sure.
looking.
Yeah. DAEYO, you notice that this person of significant interest, it appears to not be a member of the Hutt's entourage, or general, or commander, or anything like related to a Hutt. In fact, you recognize this to be a Pyke, a member of the Pike Syndicate, just based on how he looks. But more importantly, he literally has a Pyke symbol on his shoulder. And you recognize that, boy, that's certainly strange that a competitor of the Hutts would be here hanging out.
I would is this guy walking towards me?
He's walking away. He just passed ULAGO. Actually, yes, he would be walking towards you because you're behind ULAGO. Yes.
Yeah. I think I would purposefully not let him see my face and walk past him.
Okay. Yeah,
I would call into the comms that, you know, we all have, and I would say, you know, the Pykes are here. And that was mainly for Oda to hear as well, but ULAGO would also for him.
I look like I don't say anything because Cheezle would hear me, but I look at DAEYO and raise my eyebrows like, what should we do?
Okay. Yeah, the Pyke just walks by you. Doesn't even seem to notice or care that you're there. Perhaps he's overconfident in that he's in a Hutt palace and doesn't assume anyone like you would be in there.
And I don't make any effort to alert him to my presence.
Cool.
We don't want to start a fight.
Yeah. The doors before you all open. Another set of very large grand doors. And inside is a huge, opulent, over-the-top throne room with multiple columns that, if you had to imagine the span of these columns, think like Moria, but like even more opulent. And they're so tall. They rise to the sky. You can see that there's small little bat creatures flying around, perhaps for food, perhaps because no one cleans them. Who knows? And a red carpet that has clearly been worn down extends all the way up to this very gold, very ornate throne. But you notice that the throne itself seems more humanoid fitting than Hutt fitting, which probably signifies that this palace at one point was not owned by a Hutt. And Fatula probably took it over at some point. And you are slowly marching yourself down towards this big throne, sort of a like ramp leading up to it. And from behind it, a giant Hutt sort of slithers out and gives you sort of a once over. Fatula looks like. Where is Fatula the Hutt? Finding this stuff is always a pain. What I do with it. Come on, I'm just gonna search. I'm just gonna look for it. Yes, there we go. It's so dumb. What a great image. Okay. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. From around the corner of this chair, slithers a green, very ornately dressed, one-eyed, yoink, Hutt.
Wow.
And she slithers over to the end of this throne and sort of crams herself into it. The base of her body sort of hanging over the edge and wrapped around the outside of it. And she sort of like crams herself into it and wraps her fingers on the gold throne and looks at you with her one eye as you approach. And Cheezle laughs. Look, I bring someone! And she looks at you and she says, DAEYO Cheezle. Cheezle stops and like looks at you and slowly backs away.
What?
No, no trouble, no trouble.
I just curtsy deeply to Fatula. And I try to show her proper deference.
Yeah. You do this, and she looks at you, and again, no patubo. And she like points at you and like wags her finger.
Do I have any idea what is happening? Can I roll
Nope.
insight?
Unless you speak Huttese, you have no clue.
I look to Cheezle and say, "What's going on?"
Chisel looks at you and he stares directly in your eyes and he's heartbroken. You bed dress lady!
Dress. I look around for like anything I could use, like a cloak or something to like cover it up.
As you do, DAEYO, ULAGO, PR3, the group of you walk into the room as well, and you can see that Oda is standing before a giant green sort of like dolled up Hutt. She's wearing makeup and has earrings on wherever her ears might be, and has a sort of eye patch emblazoned with, you know, gems and various trinkets. And she's wearing jewelry throughout her body, wrapped around her tail as well. And she's crammed into a very tiny throne that is definitely not made for her. And you see that she is chastising, ? Oda, for some reason.
Hmm.
Okay. Ulago's gonna just, tightly grip his rifle under his cloak.
Yeah.
What else you gonna do? And I kind of wait for this scene to play out, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm just
PR3.
trying to figure out what she wants. So if she's offended by my dress, I'm just trying to show, like, because I understand that the point is that we have to, like, get her to let us hang out with her, right? So if my dress is offending her, I want to show, like, oh, anything that offends you, I'll just put it away.
Sure. You you don't seem to be offending her. That's not the vibe you're picking up. The vibe you're picking up is like she is not pleased with you. And not
She
because you've
knows who
offended
you
her,
are.
but she's just not happy with you. PR3, you can definitely translate Huttese.
Oh, yeah, I
Oh,
can do that.
right.
Then I could waddle up to Oda
Yeah.
and offer my services.
Cheezle backs away from you, and he looks even more like, oh no. And he sort of like fades into the shadows of the big pillars surrounding the
Mhm.
pathway leading up to the throne. And Fatula looks at you all and says, Ubatota. Nuba. And you, PR3, recognize that to mean, I know who you are. I know who all of you are.
Mm-hmm.
I curtsy again and say, then I am pleased to make your acquaintance.
Yeah, and she looks at you and does another very deep Hutt laugh. And on one of the arms of her chair,
Not
the
a Hutt
golden
button.
throne, she puts down a hollow transmitter.
Oh, okay.
And up appears for a brief moment the Imperial symbol, and then quickly it flashes to your face, Oda, and the face
Oh,
of
no.
PR3, and the face of DAEYO FANG, and the face of ULAGO. And you can see in Orabesh, it says wanted.
Oh.
I see. I laugh and try to give the impression that I think it's hilarious that she would think I care about that.
And she looks at you and is just like, oh, bigabudo. And you interpret that, PR3, to mean big balls.
Mhm.
I'll say something to the effect of like, I wouldn't take you for someone who would give the Empire people who could be so much more beneficial to you.
And she looks at you and smiles and then like looks through you and points to PR3 and says, Otabuko. PR3, totally out of character right now. You interpret that to mean, but he's important to the Empire. But you can tell that to the rest of them or not.
Mm-hmm.
I think she likes me particularly. Ita sunta rata homboncha. I thanked her.
She
Did
looks
you
at you.
actually?
I said,
You
what interest do they have in me?
Yeah.
Mm.
She says to you, Upato no bomba. You interpret that to mean you had a purpose, you didn't fulfill it. They want you back.
Kime, hine, humparasunte.
Which means, how badly do they want me back?
And she points to the wanted and presses a button, and it says on it, it goes through a list, cycling through. It shows ULAGO, and he has a wanted for 10,000 credits. It shows DAEYO FANG, wanted for 15,000 credits. It says Oda Kanali, wanted for 20,000 credits. And it says PR3, wanted for 65,000 credits.
This is most egregious.
I kind of look at him like, I do like a slow turn, like, hello? More wanted than a Jedi?
I told you I was fancy.
You should be the one wearing the dress.
Let's not go that far.
She looks at you again and says to you, PR3, "Ooh, taboo. Like, what are you doing with these people?"
Oh God. Just as acting as a servant. Yeah.
Ita sumpa handela hunted.
Yeah, she looks at you and just like laughs a little under her breath, and she says back to, "Ooh, taboo. If only they knew."
It is un temporumpa.
I'm gonna walk up to Ulago during this and say, I'm starting to feel a little left out here.
Are we hidden? Do they know we're in the room?
You all walked in the room. There's plenty of places to hide. There are like what appears to be a dozen pillars on either side of you, sort of going back into the darkness, and the only thing lit is the path up to the throne.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll stealth and make sure that
Just
they
like
don't know I'm here.
slide.
Yeah,
slide
Just like pull the hood a little bit harder and like kind of
Yeah,
slide
alright.
in to the right or
Yeah,
left.
sure. Give me that roll.
I did. 2
As
successes.
well.
Yeah, you into the shadows.
I'm not.
DAEYO, you like kind of try to follow, and you make enough noise that you can see that immediately you draw Fatula's attention.
I don't think it's even that. I think I walk in, and I've seen huts before, but I've never seen one like this. And I stop and I just stare for a moment. I'm just like,
Yeah,
what is this?
she's beautiful. I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
She's for a hut, gorgeous, incredibly beautiful.
She looks like the girl gremlin in Gremlins 2.
You're right. I just realized that. You're totally right. Yeah. She looks down at the group of you and points to you, Oda, and says, "Utatu champion," and says, "Are you here to be my champion?"
I look at everyone to like make sure the answer is yes, and I'm like about to nod.
And I say to her that certainly people that fetch such high price would be more interesting than turning in for the bounty.
Yeah, she replies back to you, specifically you PR3, that if you allow her to win enough money, she won't turn you all in.
She wants to use our skill to make profits.
I look at her and reassume my like overly confident feeling, and I say, "Oh, wise choice."
Yeah, and she smiles and says, "Potato Jedi."
What does that mean?
It means, "Oh, you'll pay, Jedi."
She said you have a nice face.
Thank you. I see we're going to get along quite well.
And she like taps a button on her chair, and you can all these screens come up behind her, and she says, "Puta Chisel, Putebo, Hot Games," and she like points, and all the screens turn on. And PR3, you recognize her to say that like, "I'm so pleased Cheezle brought you here for the Hutt's games." It's very obvious that she intends to use you, despite your initial plan. Although it may pay off if you're good enough. Who knows?
Yeah.
Behind her, a series of screens appears, and she points to you, Oda, and says, "Hutta pachode." And PR3, you recognize that to mean you have many choices. Maybe I'll make you do all of them.
I motion to my friends, and I'm like, "We may all serve in the games, because I don't want to be the only champion."
Why would
She-
you do this to me?
And she looks at you and she says, "Deal." You recognize that to mean deal. So you're all serving for her in the games. and she says to you, PR3, Utatu, Ebola, credits. And you recognize that to mean if you win enough, maybe I won't sell you back to the Empire for credits.
How can we guarantee you won't make your credits and also sell us back?
She leans forward through the one light that's shining down on the throne, almost so that it like hits her face just in that sinister way, and says, Puta, which means you won't.
Into sundo lemoncinta.
Lemon scent.
It means
Lemon scent.
typical Hutt deal.
Mhm. I need to write that down as lemon scent is typical Hutt. Lemon scent.
It's ironic.
And so you agree to whatever the hell you just agreed to, and behind her you can see a wall of possible opportunities to make some cash. The first one you see is something called Hutt Ball. It is a team sport, a dangerous team sport, popular on Nar Shaddaa since the days of the Old Republic. Two teams battle out against each other in a no-holds-barred sport. Violence and cheating are part of the game. Your objective is to bring the ball, which is really just like a crappy piece of trash, to steal it from the opponent, bring it back to your side. It's capture the flag, basically.
How many people are on a team?
Well, great question. It does not say.
Interesting.
There is Ubardian oil wrestling, one-on-one matches in fights in which the two competitors are covered with oil and have to pin the other to the ground. There is Nerf throwing. Nerf throwing is a sport in which involves one person throws a Nerf over distances for points. There is also the Utabu 500, a swoop bike racing event that takes place across the entire city. It is a high-speed spectator sport using modified swoop bikes. And then, of course, there is the great gladiatorial games that ends all of Hutt Days on the final day. It is the big event, the most money, the best way to get attention. Everyone will be watching all over the planet. The greatest warriors will compete. It is something that is incredibly popular and the most beneficial to you all, probably.
I don't think any of these sound like my forte.
Yeah, as you whisper that, she laughs and says, Buta. And PR3, you know that to mean that's why I want you to do it.
Meanie.
She said your hair is also nice.
Cute. Glad we've gotten off on the right.
I would have
Slither.
walked up by Oda by now and said, she's not saying any of that. I don't know what she's saying, but they don't talk like that.
No, Hutts often laugh ominously after compliments.
Limoncinta, right?
It is
She's
their way.
Lemon Santa.
She's not saying any of that. She's not saying she didn't compliment you. Don't take it to heart, kid.
If you want to know what she really said, it's not very comfortable.
Does it really matter?
No.
It does. What do you say?
Is there like a huge crowd of people in this room just watching this conversation?
Like
No,
tennis?
the people in the room are the Hutt, Cheezle hiding, you hiding, and then the three of them standing before the Hutt. That's it. There's only people in the room.
Wait, am I hiding behind a fucking curtain or something?
No, you're just in with the darkness of the pillars.
Okay, cool.
Cheezle's back in the darkness too, and he's like,
I didn't know if I
cowering.
was hidden in a crowd and there was just a crowd of people watching these guys discuss what game
No,
they were going to be.
there's nobody else in there. It is empty.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think the team game is our best shot.
I don't
She-
think I'm going to be very useful in any of these. Also,
Yeah, she looks at you all and like looks at you, PR3, as Otis like, I think the team game will be the best shot. And she's like, you can see the slant in her smile as she's like, oh man, this droid's gonna get destroyed.
also, it's going to be very difficult to keep a low profile if we're superstars.
You want us to lose?
I'm just commenting.
Yeah, we can't lose.
Yeah, as you say that, Dio, Fatula looks at you, PR3, and just like, Cuidado, botuste, molopa. And you interpret that to mean, yeah, you can't lose. If you lose, I won't make any money and I'll sell you. But if you win, everyone will know who you are.
This is a dumb deal.
Ulago, shoot her with your big gun.
I don't respond to that.
I
I
was
stay
really
hidden.
hoping you would.
And I thought, what is he talking about? Ulago, what are you talking about? Droid, I think he's malfunctioning.
Yeah,
Guys,
Fuck, dude. Should I?
as you Sam,
Oda is
Sam,
looking
as
back
you,
toward you
It'd
and
be
being
so
like,
rude to the DM.
I
if you
would.
did.
I would kill her. She would
Yeah,
die.
it'd be so rude.
as you
Yeah.
attempt to as Dio straight up calls you out,
Here we go. Look, Jesse's gonna power get me out of the shadows. Here we go.
Fatula looks back towards you in the shadows, and although she doesn't see you, she recognizes there's someone else here, and she says, "Upatote, ubaradin," and you interpret that PR3 to mean your friend in the shadows would probably be great at Ubardian oil wrestling.
She wants you to oil wrestle.
Ulago comes out of the shadows after he hits PR3 and he goes, "Nah, I mean that's more Dio's forte, to be honest."
does no one recognize how this is a lose-lose situation?
Yeah, I also recognize if we don't do it, we're dead. So,
do it, we're dead.
I'm
oh yeah, how about
very
you get that
aware.
oil wrestling outfit on, eh?
Want me to- I look back and give the biggest death glare to Ulago. Like, no, I'm not oil wrestling.
You're built for it.
So is he. And I point to PR3.
For oil wrestling?
What? They need oil.
That is the furthest thing from reality that has ever come out of anyone's face.
He's got a flamethrower on his arm. He can't oil wrestle.
Use a flamethrower. I don't have a flamethrower on my arm.
I can
Look, just
ride
take one for the team.
I can ride the very nice hover cycle.
He's riding the hover cycle and I'm oil wrestling. Nice. Do I have to put on a skimpy outfit too?
There we go.
Fatula looks at you and is like, "Potita," and points to Ulago. And PR3, you interpret that to mean, no, you don't wear skimpy outfits. You fight in the nude, which is why I want Ulago to do it.
Wow.
She said that yes, you wear very modest outfits during it.
At least we
Why
can
do I
all
think this is
recognize
not
that
saying-
I should not do any oil wrestling.
Look, I'm not much of a wrestler. She wrestles for a living. I don't know what you want me to say. Do you want to win or not? I say to the Hutt.
She looks at you and is just like cackling in her seat and is just points up above, and you recognize that she's saying like, you all are focusing awfully hard on the oil wrestling part and not the other sports. She's like,
I
I
suggested
can't
the
believe
team
you're
one.
I said I would
What?
do the race.
What are the other?
I look up and check them. What are they?
Yeah, again, Hutt ball, a very dangerous team sport. That's basically capture the flag. There's the Ubardian oil wrestling, Nerf throwing, which is you would try to throw a Nerf as far as you could. The Utabu 500, which is a swoop bike race throughout the entire city, using modified swoop bikes, and then the grand tournament, the arena gladiatorial tournament that happens on the last day, and that is a big fight, and it's the most money, but also like the most notoriety.
Well, I could do the big fight. I could probably do the Nerf throwing thing if it's based on ranged attacks.
It's not.
Probably
You have to
can't-
throw
probably
a thing.
can't
It's
do that
based
one.
on brawn.
Yeah, probably can't do it. Dio, you might be good at throwing the thing.
Based on?
Brawn.
You'd be throwing a Nerf based on brawn.
If that's based on the same thing as brawl, I have 3 brawn.
Yeah, I can see that. Question, Oda, what do you have when it comes to brawn right now?
I have 3.
Oh, wonderful. All right, yeah. She sort of just like looks at you, Dio, and sees that you seem big and strong and tough. You probably could do the nerf throwing. That could happen. And but she also points to the other things, and she says to you, PR3, I know what I would pick. And she points to you, Dio, and she says, the big one for nerf throwing, the small one points to ULAGO for swoop bike racing,
Small?
and for the tournament, the grand
I
tournament,
mean, huts are very large. I'm not offended when a hut calls you small.
and for the
both.
grand tournament, she points at you, Oda, and says, "The Jedi."
Mm.
Ooh.
It's like she recognizes that there's no sense in denying that she's a Jedi, but she looks at the party and she's like, that puts my lightsaber in front of a lot of people.
You don't have to use your lightsaber. What a ridiculous notion.
What am I going to use? A blaster?
What? For what?
You notice,
Grand
just a heads up,
tournament?
you notice that in the grand tournament, it says no ranged weapons allowed.
Yeah, but I'm melee, so I can do melee and brawl.
Sure.
The grand tournament's just one person though, right?
It's one person.
So she's saying
Versus
she
whatever.
wants me to fight. So my little fisties, or my
Yeah, push
lightsaber,
Oda
that's
out
all I
of the
can
way.
do.
Well,
You're
that's what she wants. It doesn't have to be what you do. She would just prefer that.
I would shove Oda out of the way and say, "You're not fighting." And then I would like size up her arms, like I would like squeeze her arms with my hand.
And Fatula looks at you, Dio, and looks at you, Oda, and smiles and says, "Buddha, Buddha." And PR3, you know that means size matters not. And she like laughs.
She used a Jedi cliche about size.
Keep those words out of your mouth.
And she like laughs and like spittle pops out of her mouth as like her big tongue flops around as her head just like falls back laughing at, the sad state of the Jedi.
Why are we not considering the team sport?
And she looks at you and says, "Boo, ah, boy. You don't have enough people to play Hutt ball."
Well, Cheezle could play with us.
Why would you do
you-
this?
As you say that, Cheezle's little head peeks out around the corner. He's like, "What?"
Oh my god.
I said it purely vindictively. That's why I did that.
Yeah, Cheezle kind of looks out at you and has a little bit of like, "You want me to play with you?"
Indeed. You could be on the front line.
Yeah, he pulls out from his back pocket.
Oda, I'm
what
gonna
might
stop
be-
this. This isn't a joke, Anna. Like, Chisel's a fucking serial killer, dude.
Is he really?
Don't think you're
What?
putting a child on the front line. Like, he's a fucking maniac.
I mean,
pulled-
it can only help.
He pulls out from his back pocket a Cheezle-sized vibro blade.
Oh my god.
And you can see that it like has been used enough that the vibro function is slightly malfunctioning. He has stabbed a lot of people with this blade, and he like looks at you and smiles, and he's like, "I have to play games."
I look at the rest of the party. I'm like, problem solved?
I'm so incredibly disturbed.
I mean, do we play in all of them?
As you say that, she looks at you, and a big, almost greedy smile appears on her face.
We have to play in all of them. Wait, Jesse, do we have to play in all of them to go to like the
No,
grand?
not at all. No, but it will make you more money if you win. If you win, because
Say
you
we
can't
go
lose
for
the
the
games. you can't. These aren't like if you roll well, another team will be rolling opposite of you or other racers, and so you can lose them. So it's your call.
Look,
Can't take any.
the more
Take
events we
melee.
take part in, the more chance we have at winning the big bucks.
Yeah.
I say we do it all.
I don't want to do it all.
You're going to do most of it. I'm going to be honest. Because guns aren't allowed.
What am I going to do? Verbally devastate the other contestants' self-esteems?
You have a flamethrower. They said no guns.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
As you say that, PR3, Fatula looks at you and says, "Budadu," which means you're the most dangerous one of all.
Yeah, what she said, even though I don't know what she said.
What she said makes no sense.
Well, then I really agree if it doesn't make sense to you. All right, sign us up.
And she looks at you and taps on her control pad, and the first thing pops up: Umbardian Oil Wrestling. And she's waiting for, like, you can see a blank space with a name waiting to be filled in, sort of flickering on the screen. And she looks at you all with an almost sadistic, like, hilarious smile on her face, just like, which one of you idiots is signing up for this?
Okay, so does it say on this like thing that you have to be naked?
No, I think she was just messing with you. There's nothing on this that indicates you have to be naked. It's almost like she just wanted you to show up naked, Ulago. She's clearly just messing with you.
Oh, okay.
I sign up for it.
Okay.
I
you're
would have
gonna
done
do
it,
that
dude. I
one?
would have been like a greased up pig. I just want you to know that.
My
If I had
my
one, if I
brawl-
had
I
great
want you to
brawl,
know that.
if I
Set
had
that
great
image.
brawl,
well, if it's oil wrestling, my brawl is 2 yellows, 1 green, and it's a career move. So is yours better than that?
Also, it
Ulago?
is oil wrestling, so it would have to
no,
be
mine is awful. That's what I'm saying.
agility too.
If it was agility based, I would dominate, but it's
It's
brawl
both.
based.
It's like a combination of agility and brawn.
Wait, so what part's agility if it's based off
Well,
wrestling?
because everyone's covered in oil and standing, grappling, like you're gonna be slipping and sliding all over the
She's gonna make you roll a lot of coordination rolls, I think. In essence.
I only have 3 greens in that.
Well, I've got 4 greens. 3 greens will be fine.
Okay. What's your brawl?
My athletics is 1 yellow, 1 green, Carisco.
Oh, we're rolling athletics instead.
Yeah, you'll be rolling athletics and coordination, I imagine.
What if I want to just punch their lights out?
It's
Well,
wrestling, not
it's
punchy.
wrestling, not boxing.
I
Yeah.
can do what I want when we're wrestling. I'll get him
No,
a
there's rules
chokehold.
or you lose.
Fine. I don't want to do it. You sign up.
This is Umbardian oil
You're
wrestling.
doing- you're
There have been rules.
We're hard wiping.
Established.
No, I changed my mind. It's you.
Okay.
She wants you to do it.
Yeah, she keeps looking at you, Ulago, and is just so excited.
Oh my
Just
Fine.
god.
Fine.
Like licking
Clearly
her
wants
lips.
to see you wrestle.
She's a
in
prevert.
oil.
Fine.
Yeah,
do
she
it.
taps
This
your
guy is
name
a
in.
fucking wimp.
Yeah, she taps your name in and like smiles and like winks at you with her one eye. And
See, she wants to see
he
you
shudders.
in there.
yeah, she like loves green men. And so she then
Okay, specifically green. Man.
yeah, specifically green men. She then punches in some more numbers and a Nerf throwing contest appears.
Mhm.
And there's a name that needs to be filled out. Who will be
Oda,
the
like,
person to throw a
looks
Nerf?
really sad that she can't help more, but none of these things, like she's like looking at her arm where DAEYO pinched it, and she's like trying to make a bigger muscle.
She as she like looks over the names of things, she then pauses and goes, "Oh, Butusabuta buku. And PR3, you interpret that to mean, I forgot! Once you enter one, you can enter no more.
Well, then we shouldn't do that one.
Well, then fuck the wrestling. I'm gonna do the racing.
And she looks at you and she goes, Tubutu. Too late.
What do you mean?
Tubutu. Too late.
It
She just
seems
wanted to
you're
get you
locked
naked.
in.
I pat ULAGO on the chest and I'm like, time to get naked. And I start like walking back some.
Don't worry, ULAGO. If you lose, I'll still talk to you. Sometimes, maybe.
ULAGO starts dumping large pieces of armor on the floor.
And she looks at you and she's like, whoa, 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 dopo. And she, PR3, you hear her be like, not now, but all right.
She said, continue.
He continues.
Yeah, the man just starts undressing. Meanwhile, DAEYO PR3, Oda, you have to make a choice. Who's going to be the person that does the nerf throwing?
Do we have to? I thought she said we didn't have to do all of them.
I
You
thought
don't
we were
have
going
to.
roll.
You don't have to, but what's left is Hutt ball, nerf throwing, the race, and the big gladiatorial competition.
Huttball would have some speed. What is there anything
The
other than
Huttball
like?
requires a team though, and it's pretty brutal if it's anything like. Yeah.
If you played any of Star Wars: The Old Republic, yeah.
Fire pits and the like. It's
Chainsaws. Oh yeah, it's swell.
I want to do
Um,
hotball. Get me out this fucking wrestling.
She hears your complaints and is like, "Putapa?" And she says, "Do you have 5?"
Yeah.
Yeah, with
He points
Cheezle.
to everyone in the room and Cheezle.
Chisel is in the back, like sharpening his knife on what you think is a. You're not sure. He's like too far behind, but it's white, and he's like just grinding it on it. And he's like, "Oh yeah," just like sort of in the background, living his best life. Yeah. All right. She signs all of you up for Hutt ball, and then still points to the remaining games. And she's like, Uda? Anyone? And she points to the nerf throwing.
I can't do it. The last time I tried to throw anything, my arm fell off. I forgot to let go.
I mean, I'll do it if you want.
She says, Uda! And just immediately enters your name, Oda.
No,
You're
I'm
in.
saying it to Pocket and. I was
No,
saying it
you're
to
in.
Dio
You're
and
now
Wanda.
you're now nerf throwing. It's too late for you. You're in.
I'm morally opposed to nerf throwing. I won't do it.
Boss.
Oda is typed in. And
What if I
Lago
refuse?
is she almost ignores you at this point. You're typed in. She goes to the next one. As you protest, she's like, Oda. Just like enters it in. She then points to the race and to the gladiatorial combat and points to you, Dio and PR3.
I could do the race. You just sit down, and the vehicle does all the work. I'm sure of it.
What kind of race is this? Is it? Is it a? I was thinking running.
But it was
It's a
swoop bikes.
500 kilometer swoop bike race.
Yeah.
Throughout the city. You would probably use one of the GM created swoop bikes to travel around the city and race other competitors in a race that would probably involve a driver and then a crew that would try to maintain that driver's ship. Well, I guess bike.
Shouldn't be that difficult. You just lean, and then lean again.
Or you can just hack it and control it that way, maybe. I don't know. I don't know anything about those. So I guess the gladiatorial thing's the only thing left?
Oh, Batu. Which is, yeah, it's for you.
You could definitely stab a being, Dio.
Stab a few, yeah. Will they let me take my blade? And I pull out my vibro sword.
She sort of like mashes her Hutt hands together and what you think is a clap, but it's like very slow motion. It's like, oh, 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 oh. Yes. It looks like that's a yes.
All right. Count me in.
Great. She inputs your name, and you hear her press submit, and all the screens go dark and then fold up sort of behind her. And she looks at you and says, which means it's been a pleasure. And then sort of like squeezes herself out of the chair and then slurps her way back behind the chair to wherever it is that she originally came from, behind the throne, and appears to not be bothered with you anymore. But you can see that on the throne still is the hollow transmitter, and you can see it cycles between an Imperial logo, your faces, and Arbesh saying wanted, and then a list of your wanted values. And it keeps cycling back through that on the chair.
I just want you to all know, in the eventual case that we perish in these games, existing near you really was something.
Thank you. That's
That
so
wasn't a
kind.
compliment.
Well, I'm taking it as one.
Fair.
Can I delete the file of our wanted posters on that hollow?
I mean, on that one in particular, sure. You can
Yeah.
delete it. Will it be deleted from the actual HoloNet that the Empire specifically is hunting you down? No.
I mean, that one's annoying me, so I just want to delete it.
Yeah, you walk up to the throne and you see before you this small holo transmitter, and it's like sort of transmitting all of your images. And the throne itself is, all solid gold except for one control panel that is flipped over. So at one point in time, it like actually had buttons, but since she left, it is flipped back over, and it looks like it's just part of the actual chair now.
Does anything else strike me about the chair? Like, if I'm
Give me a
noticing...
perception check.
Oh, my perception's so bad.
No, you can't figure out anything else about this chair.
Hmm.
Yeah,
you
it just
trying to
looks like
figure
a
out about a
gold chair to you, like a gold throne.
Huh.
Definitely doesn't belong to a Hutt, though, that's for sure.
Lore check.
Uh-oh. Yes. What are you looking for? What lore?
Previous owner of chair.
What you discover from the lore check is that there is no previous owner of the chair. This chair clearly belongs to someone. It's almost like Fatula is watching it for them. Yeah, it isn't like an ancient chair. It seems very modern, just gaudy, just like over the top. But whoever made this chair, it's a recent, while this throne room itself is very Hutt in style, this grand entrance with the red carpet and the ramp up, it's not a very Hutt style throne itself. It doesn't make a lot of sense for a Hutt to try and fit into a chair and sit like a human. It wouldn't make any sense.
I feel like this Hutt is palace sitting.
Is there any way to find out whose palace it is?
Maybe. You can certainly try. You can look around. I mean, right now you're sort of left to your own devices until you're called for your competition.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't tell us not to explore the castle or the palace or whatever it is, so let's snoop.
Snooping.
Sure. Yeah, how would you like to snoop?
By the way.
You'll get a call. There'll be a bing.
You'll get a call.
You know. Yeah.
All right, cool.
There'll be an announcement. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Get like one of those like things that vibrate when you're waiting for a restaurant to have a deal already.
All right.
Yeah. What would you like to do? What is your plan then?
Let's
keep a constant lookout for.
Where are the people? You said we walked past people coming in, right?
Yeah, like if you were to exit the throne room, there are people everywhere. It was, it's a normal Hutt palace where there are bounty hunters and scoundrels and all sorts of people of ill repute around. Very DAEYO-centric people.
What does that mean?
Like scum and
Kidding.
villainy. People who were bounty hunters or trouble.
I want
We're
to
walking out and away from ears. I think that Dio would turn to Ulago and say, "We got to be careful if the Pykes are here. They don't usually hang out with Hutts."
Why do you think they're here?
Because I saw one. Ulago bumped into one when we were walking in.
No, I
Oh,
mean,
did
for
I?
what reason do you think they're here?
Yeah. No idea what reason they'd be here. I mean, participating in the games, but like I said, most Hutts don't get along with the Pykes. Rival gangs and all that.
I mean, we can ask around, try and find out whose place this is, or we
Yeah, I
can
think-
just do a bit of snooping. I
think we should
personally
just,
am on
go
team
room from
snooping.
room. Yeah, I just want to snoop. I just want to walk around.
Yeah, just try to lay low, because if that Hutt knew that we were wanted, I'm sure the Pykes do too.
Well, now we're her champion, so that
That's not
affords us
Stop
some
them
level of
from taking
protection.
us out of here.
We will have protection until the Hutt inevitably decides to turn us in for the bounty. We have to plan for that.
Oh, it's definitely going to happen, yeah.
Perhaps we should come up with a plan.
I could just kill her.
That's a good plan.
I like that plan.
That's
Although-
very uncharacteristic of you, Oda.
Well, wasn't the point of all this to get to a place where we would find Dio's sister? And does killing the Hutt negate that plan? Are we trying to get in the room where it happens?
Yeah, in a way, you're trying to get aboard the first light. Yes.
And we think that being in with this Hutt could get us there, right?
Well,
Well,
killing the
last
Hutt
place,
is not going to get us there.
the last place the first light was seen, according to your contacts, was over Nar Shaddaa, which is the big world that Nar Shaddaa is the moon for. So there's there's no reason for it to be there. So you're trying to figure out why it was there, what's going on, all that shit. And then get on board and save the sister.
I mean, there's got to be other participants in these events, right?
Yes.
Other Hutts?
Not other
Definitely,
Hutts, but
definitely other Hutts would have champions, sure.
other champions. What's the gang that has Dio's sister?
The gang that has Dio's sister is the Dread Rabbits. The Dread Rabbits you discovered are working for the Crimson Dawn. The Crimson Dawn you've discovered is allied for some strange reason with the Hutts and the Pykes and a Mandalorian faction called Death Watch, and they are also allied with the Black Sun. So it's like
Look, if
all
we're
the
to
major.
assume that everyone in these organizations is buddy-buddy, it means that they're all going to be taking part in the games, right?
I believe that was your
So-
original plan. Your thought process originally was everyone will be here, so if we can get our faces seen,
Yeah.
we can then get in with like the people as we're champions. We deserve to be here. I think that was your original plan.
But now we know that everyone knows who we are.
And they're going to find out who we are once we fight, and we're still probably going to be turned in for bounties.
Look,
I'm just
everyone
feeling
knows who we are,
confident
right?
about this
Well,
plan.
There's going to be other people taking part in these events, right? There's going to be player-only lounges and changing rooms, and there's going to be opportunities for us to get the information we need, okay? So right now, yeah, eventually she's going to try and turn us in, and I'll try and kill her. That sounds like a good plan. But I think right now, we do the games, and we try and get as much information as we can. All right?
There are 3 possible courses of action that could have positive results. 1. We kill the Hutt. 2. We make ourselves indispensable to her. Or 3. we put the Hutt in a scenario where getting rid of us would also be extremely bad for her.
Exactly. Now, PR3, you have a thought on what that plan might be because I have to go wrestle.
Yeah, as you say that, wrestlers, please attend the Ubardian Oil Wrestling Match Arena. And as that said, two giant Gamorrean guards sort of walk over to you and look at you, Ulago, and are just like, and sort of like nudge you forward.
Olago spits on the floor and gives him a stink eye. And then,
Yeah, and they look at you and they spit on the floor and give you a stink eye too.
Bonded.
I'm assuming they're also taking part.
No, they're just like the guys there to escort you.
All right. Yeah, fine. I go along.
Yeah, and Ulago leaves you all. DAEYO, PR3, Oda, you are left behind as Ulago is pushed forward.
Before he leaves, I would try to grab his gun.
Okay. Do you give her your gun?
Yeah, sure.
Because
Okay.
I don't know if it's gonna suddenly disappear.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to stick it in a cubby around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take the gun from him, and Ulago, you're pushed down this hallway. Do you want to attend his wrestling match, or are you going to try and explore?
I'd probably look
I
back
think
at the
we
other.
should-
Want to go watch or?
I think we should attend just in case.
I think you should explore.
I think
don't wanna
Dio
leave
would
you
want to
alone.
explore too. I think Dio would be like,
It's
I'll
just
think
the
about it."
fucking, it's the Hutt games. Like, nothing's gonna, it's just wrestling.
Razzling. There's going to be some twist to it that makes it horrific, probably.
Yeah,
Dio
oh
would
yeah,
turn back.
probably.
Probably.
Turn back to the others and say, "It's time for us to get some information. If there's a match going on, this is the perfect time. People are going to be distracted. We should go around and try to get, explore a little, find stuff."
I agree, because right now we have nothing.
All right.
So, Ulago, you notice your friends are going to stay behind and attempt to explore, which is probably what you want.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you are marched down through the streets, and you notice that beside you, marching with also armed escorts, are 8 other competitors, all of them muscle-bound and super buff and different varieties of alien species. And all of you are walking down this grand thoroughfare as people on the sides are cheering, and they're throwing what feels like to you water at first, like little specks, right? Like little specks of water are hitting you. But what you realize is it's actually little specks of oil. And the more you go down the path, the more oily you become as the crowd is flicking you with oil.
Oh, Olago's embracing it. He's rubbing it in as it hits him.
We're
Yeah,
moisturized.
it's like, now, are you actually naked, or what is going on with you right now?
I've got like Y fronts on.
Great. It's
Just like abs out, tattoos,
Sure.
tiny Y fronts.
Yeah,
Oiling himself up.
that you are getting hit, and you can see that the competitors are looking at you kind of jealous. And as you're walking down, one of them, a very buff humanoid, no human you've ever seen of that size, she's much bigger, with very dark skin and sort of like one of those like half buzz cut long blonde hair things going on, and she
Yeah.
is ripped, like jacked, and she sees you and starts like taking off her armor too. And because she's like, he's not good. And she starts taking off her armor too. And so she like has her undershirt and these like tight long pants on, and the oil's hitting her too. And because everyone else sees her do that, this Clatoonian, this sort of like dog-faced man,
Oh,
he
no,
starts
what have
pulling
I
off his
started?
rags. And he starts like embracing it as well. And everyone starts looking at you, and all the competitors start pulling off their armor,
Oh,
ready
no.
to fight.
Okay.
As you enter the arena, it is huge. You can hear the crowd like, roar, roar, roar. You can hear them chanting. The ground is shaking. You can feel people sort of smashing their feet into the ground. Aliens of all shapes and sizes are in the crowd watching the ring. And you can see that in the ring are 3 circles, one within the other. So there's a big outer ring, a middle ring, and like a small ring in the center. And all
Okay.
three of them are lined with sort of a black path, right? So it's like black circle, little tiny black circle. And they march you up to the edge, and you can see that the 8 of you are facing another 8 competitors on the other side. And you can see a bracket system form up above.
Are the 8 competitors oiled up? They wouldn't be, because we've got a unique plan that I introduced.
Well, here's the thing. They're oiled up, but they're all in armor.
We got
And
nothing to grab on this side. We slippery as hell.
And so they look at you and kind of like size you up, and you can see that the aliens on their side are, you know, there's a Deveronian, and you can see that there's sort of my brain just died. What's Greedo? Rodian is over there, and you can see that they're like looking at you, kind of like giving you mean eye, stink eye, and they call a number. They call 2 names. It's not your name. The Clatoonian, who had stripped down, is facing off with the Deveronian on the other side. And the 2 of them are told to march forth into the center of the ring. And as they do, you see that around the edges, in the black lines of the circles, oil starts to bubble up. And the oil, as they walk through it, sort of like gets sticky on their legs. And the Deveronian starts rubbing it up from his legs, up all over his armor, and he moves into the middle ring and waits. And the Clatoonian obviously has no clue what he's getting into, because he looks around and the crowd is cheering, and you can see all the different like hover cameras focusing down on the scene, and there are giant screens showing him looking very like overwhelmed. As he enters the middle ring, the oil on the outside almost like bubbles up over the edges of the black lines, but just doesn't. And a whistle sounds, and the crowd goes, "Ah!" and goes wild. And the Deveronian jumps on the Clatoonian and starts to grab him. But the Clatoonian, who is wearing nothing, right, like slips out of his arms, and the 2 begin to fight and wrestle. And you notice that as time goes on, as it goes on from 2 minutes to 3 minutes to 4 minutes, at the 5-minute mark, the outer edge ignites in flame. And the 2 are sort of fighting now. And the Clatoonian looks over and is like terrified, because suddenly the ring size has shrunk. Because now you can only go so far out. There's a flame surrounding them. And you can see it sort of like burning off some of the excess oil along the path leading up to where they're at. And they continue to fight. And the Clatoonian, although scared, is managing to sort of like get out of the way of his competitor. But after another 5 minutes, the middle ring sets ablaze, and the 2 are forced further into each other. And now the cameras are above, facing down at them. And you know that there is one last ring, a very small ring surrounding them, the one they're both fighting on. And while you physically can't see it, you can look up at the screen and see, as the 2 of them fight, you see a countdown timer begin. And as it clicks down to 0, neither of them have successfully defeated the opponent. And the last ring erupts, and both of them explode into flame. And then suddenly all the fires stop, and their bodies are just vaporized and scorched on the ground. And then several guards rush out and sort of like sweep them off with the grease and push them into a bin that seals shut. And the crowd is like, "Yo!" The crowd goes wild and nuts and crazy. And all of the competitors look at you, like on your team, on your side at least, they all look at you and they're like, "What did you get us into?" Clearly you did nothing, but they're just like looking at you like, "We have no armor. What are we doing?"
Elago's just doing like neck stretches, arm stretches. He's ignoring them. He's stretching up. I'm getting limber.
Sure. The bells ring again. The crowd goes wild, and you are summoned. You hear your name. And you see across from you the Rodian look at you and sort of like do this and mash his fingers together, and he begins to walk out towards you. and he goes and stands right in the middle, the direct center of the ring. Like, he's not even going to try to fight you in the bigger area. He's going to try to fight you right in the middle, so he has more time to fight you rather than...
I match him. I walk right up, so I'm fucking inches from his face.
Sure. Will you roll for me your...
Kuo?
Yeah, you're prepared, so it's cool. Yes, hold on. Yeah, go for it. Excellent. And I will roll his cool. You go, yeah, go for it.
You didn't roll anything. You just rolled negative dice.
Oh, damn it! Sorry.
I could have taken it.
Never mind. Thanks, pal. And so he goes first, and he lunges at you and goes to grab you and push you down to the ground and like smother your face in the oil that's down on the ground. He rolls and let's see here. He goes to grab you and you slip right out of his hands. Totally fails to catch you. But he can't really do anything with that. So he goes to like grab you and is just like,
I want to slip between his legs, grab his ankles, and try and sweep him.
Okay, so that would be athletics. You're gonna try and do that. Oh no, you slide between his legs and you go to grab him. Nothing. He's also equally as slippery. He turns around to grab you, and once again attempts to, as you're down on the ground, attempts to like jump on you and force you down. And he misses. He slips and he misses, and the two of you are locked in an internal slippage.
I roll to the side as he jumps, and then I go for a full mount.
All right, give me your athletics check. Yes, you slide to the side and grab him, and you've mounted him now. He's going to try and force you off. He does. He pushes you off of him and slides out of the way.
Okay. I'm gonna attempt to get neutral ground and push him towards the edge of the ring.
Okay, I guess this would be coordination. Actually, don't roll yet. No, re-roll. There was his stats were on there. All right.
No, you cursed me, dude.
Yeah, you try to push him, and you yourself end up getting pushed back a little, and he ends up pushed back a little more. As this happens, you hear a "Bah!" and the outside edge ignites in flames. The two of you now feel the heat, the scorching heat of the outside edge as he, the match continues, and you can see up above it says 5 minutes and it's flashing, and another 5 minutes that middle circle is going to ignite.
Okay.
He goes back to grab you, and he sees what you did to him, and he now sees the fire, and he's going to go try to push you towards the fire.
Son of a bitch.
Totally fails.
Ooh.
He tries and completely fails.
I'm gonna use his momentum against him to sidestep and let him slide towards the flames.
Yeah.
This is coordination.
Yes.
All right. Let me know when it's ready.
It is ready now. Yes. You slide past him, push him towards the fire, and he goes like careening towards it. He attempts to stop himself from hitting the fire and come back to you. Oh, that's sure. All right, I'll use the dark side point.
Did you mean to use one?
I didn't mean to do that at all, but that's what's happening now. He's using a dark side point because boy is he evil. And he manages to stop himself, and he turns back to you and like has this like evil, even though it's hard to tell based because he's, a Rodian and has like a big beak thing and big eyes. You can tell he's sneering at you like, you tried to kill me right there.
I mean, he's on the edge. I'm going to do it again.
Okay, yeah. He looks back at you. Hold on.
I'm going to use the light side.
All right, I will upgrade your roll. Yeah, he looks at me. He's like, you tried to kill me.
Elaga's got to look like, yes, I did. I'm going to, boom.
You push him right into the fire, and you see him go, just explode into flame. And the last thing the crowd hears is like, yeah, as he bursts into flame, and the crowd erupts in cheers. Just like, ah! Ah! And the entire stadium cheers for you, and the flames disappear, and you can see the like crumpled, burnt, charred form of the Rhodian laying there, and then a bunch of the guard / janitors come out and sweep him off, and you see yourself move up in the brackets up above, and
Cool.
all of the people on your team are like,
Yeah, Ulago tries to like leave the ring all cool and shit without slipping on the oil.
yeah, I need you to. I'm gonna roll athletics, please.
Coordination, right? Coordination.
Coordination, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
works.
All right.
In style. You walk off like you're the coolest MFer who ever lived. It's the coolest, like, everyone's like, damn! Even though everything's covered in oil, you are
And
covered in oil.
flames.
Yeah, oil and flames, and you're just like,
Yep.
bow, 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 like walking off the.
Nice.
Over the course of
Alright.
this event, you see many, many more competitors fall. It's violent. There are people, sometimes both competitors die, and they can't beat each other in time. But at the end of this tournament, you see that across the way, the enemies that you had fought across the way are no more. The only two people who remain are you and the giant, mega buff humanoid woman who...
The one who
looks at
copied me
you-
and took her armor off?
That's right. Looks at you and smiles and thinks, we did it. We won. And
Yeah,
then the
we're
bracket
on the same
switches.
team, right?
Yeah. And the bracket switches, and now you must face her in combat. And she looks at you, and you almost see like total betrayal in her heart. Like she feels like she never wanted to do this. Like watching you fight was amazing. Watching you battle was an amazing thing for her. But now the two of you have to fight, and she's just like, all right. And she like cracks her neck and walks in, sort of leaving you behind to do whatever you want to do.
He's gonna wait for a moment and just... Okay. Doesn't matter, she's a woman. You just do what you gotta do. Because otherwise you die. So, go out there, wrestle that woman to death. And he like gives himself a little slap. And he's like, all right. And then walks out.
Sure. You meet her in the center, and again, and it begins. I need you to roll for me your initiative. Vigilance, please. Cool. You're prepared. All right, let's see what she gets. Wait, hold on. That's not right. There we go. That's right. She lunges
This bitch
for
has
you.
so many stats, dude.
She lunges for you and grabs you and tries to throw you to the ground. What do you do?
I'm gonna try and slip out of a grip
Okay, go for it.
and go for a sweep of some kind. All right.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
Yes, you definitely do. And you sweep her legs and she falls to the ground, slamming on her back. But she goes to grab you.
Oh
no! She grabs you and pulls you down to the ground as well. And you hit your head. And as you hit your head, you suddenly, like, something clicks in you. And the triumph here is that you start to hear noises, Ulago. Noises that sound like blaster fire.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Okay.
You start to hear blaster fire noises.
No.
And she holds you to the ground. And as you look up, the woman on top of you is no longer this giant humanoid, but instead a young face you remember, a person you have lost, stares back at you. And then suddenly you get clocked in the face, and it flashes back to this woman. But you also hear like pew, 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 like laser fire in the background.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Oh, jeez. Okay. I'm gonna, I guess, just attempt to like resist. He's like, I'm not in the right place to like go on the offensive, so I'm just
Sure.
gonna be like,
Are you gonna try and get out of it then?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you manage to escape and you find yourself just overwhelmed as you look around. You see no blaster fire, you see no like nothing happening, but you definitely feel like something like hitting your head, it shook you to the core. And she goes to grab you again and force you back down on the ground. And you can tell she's trying to like make you submit rather than kill you.
Mm.
And she grabs you again and throws you to the ground. And you again, like, slam into the ground, and the noises become louder, right? And you see, again, for a brief second, this woman who threw you to the ground is not this blonde, dark-skinned, buff lady. It is a totally different person.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna, I guess, roll discipline to try and like focus on the fight
Sure.
and shake this weird
Yeah.
flashback I'm in.
Go for it.
Oh
No.
no. Oh
no, you simply can't. You can't. And as that happens, as you try to shake it off, the reason why you can't shake it off is the outer ring ignites in flame. And in that flame, you see this battle occurring around you. Clone troopers fighting clone troopers. You see this incredible sight of a Jedi being just gunned down. And you see people you know as friends laying dead at your feet. And in the distance, you see in the flames a lightsaber flashing against the shots of blaster bolts and someone calling your name into the flame.
Are you gonna kill me? You're gonna kill me.
Just telling you what happens.
I don't know. I reach out to the flame. Am I still like grappled by this?
Yeah, she's still holding you. She's got you grappled. You're just like reaching out to the flame as she has you pinned down.
I'm in my head. He's trying to reach the person in the flame. I'm gonna grab this bitch and drag her with me towards the side.
Do it.
I'll use the light side.
Okay, let me upgrade you.
Is this athletics?
Yes.
Okay.
Or you could justify it as a straight brawn roll, like you're trying to force her.
They're the same.
Yeah, then go for it. You might have bonus points in athletics, so you might be better to just do athletics.
Oh my
No,
God,
no.
no.
She is holding you there, and you can see that she, like, even though you're in this sort of delusional state, you can see her kind of like, what are you doing? Like, fight me. And
Like,
she
I'm
goes
trying to walk towards the fire.
Yeah.
Right now.
She's going to go throw you down again and keep you down, like, try to pin you. Yeah, she throws you to the ground again. And is like, and she says, stay down, and like pushes you down into the muck. And like, it is oil, but also like gross now because people have been fighting in it all day, and it's like goopy and bloody and like a little dirty. And she like throws you down into it, and it's like, stay down. What do you do?
There's like a flashback of a young woman, and it's snowing. It's clearly snowing, and she's yelling at ULAGO, "Stay here, stay here," and she disappears. And then it flashes between her saying "stay down" and this woman in his past saying "stay here," and he's just gonna like try and suplex her.
All right, go for it.
Because he doesn't want it. He doesn't want it to happen again.
Yeah.
Okay. Yo, this black dice is fucking me up. What do you give me a black dice for?
Because you are impaired. She you try your hardest to suplex her, and she just holds you down still.
Well,
And it's like, stop! And then she's gonna
She
go.
realizes if she holds me down, like we both die, right? This is not really counter. This is.
I feel like she has a plan here. Maybe it's to once it get close, just to throw you into the close fire. I don't know.
Can Ulago use all the rest of our force points at once?
I mean, one at a time.
I have to save them for you guys. It's fine.
So
Jesse's
maybe
not gonna kill me, right?
I would never. All right. She rolls, and she bashes your head on the ground again, and she keeps bashing your head into the ground.
Ulago at this point is not resisting. He's like concussed.
Yeah. You have no armor on. Would you have anything that is just a natural defensive skill right now?
I do not believe so. No.
Great. You take 4 points of damage as she slams you to the ground.
Okay.
And it is your turn.
I mean, I'm pinned. Like, I'm good. He's not gonna fight back.
Okay. As you don't fight back, she's going to slam you again.
Doesn't this defeat the purpose of me not fighting back? I'm about to fight back because she's pissing me off.
Well, she's not trying to kill you in the fire. She's literally trying to break your head open. It appears is what she's doing. She's gonna slam you again. Oh. She slams you again. You take this time 5 damage.
I don't need you to come with me. It's just wrestling. It's not a big deal.
I was very clear that I didn't want to do this. All right. I'm gonna fucking try and slam her. I'm tired of this, Jesse.
Okay, slam her.
Use that force point.
Use a light side.
Use a force point.
Fine.
Love of God.
Forcing black dice on me and shit.
That's the weakest die. It's the least I can do. Oh shit!
Oh my God!
Yeah, you can't force her off of you, but something important happens. What?
Having done this before in battle many times, I enter a state of seeming death.
Okay.
Oh.
So you're just gonna like lay there like blah.
Yeah, she slams me one last time, and I give her the impression that like I'm out. I'm out cold.
Yeah, you go limp, and she looks at you, and the crowd goes, "Ah!" Like cheers. The camera's close up on your face, and it appears you're dead. Like blood is trickling out down your mouth, and you're laying there in the oil, just as the marker goes, "Bah!" and the middle ring ignites in fire. And she like raises her hands, and it looks like the fire. It's like a professional wrestling thing. Where, like she raises her hands, it looks like the fire is going off just for her. And she's like, "No!" She uses her turn to cheer. What do you do?
Got the element of surprise.
Here's the thing, though. I think she's like the contact that I need in this scenario. Like we're all gonna have a contact. I think she might be my contact. So if I take this advantage to surprise throw her in the fire, I feel like I'm fucking everything up. You know what I mean?
There are multiple events. I'm just saying. You did take 9 points of damage.
She seems nice. Throw her in the fire, though.
No, I'm gonna stay down.
Just a warning, just a reminder. Everyone who's died has been swept into a machine in the wall. I don't know that you want to go into a machine in the wall. Just put it out there. Just giving you that reminder.
Well,
you definitely want
to
to
say everyone that's died, but like everyone who's lost has been thrown into a machine in the wall. So
yeah,
you know,
here's the thing. Everyone who's
my hands are tied here, Jesse.
Everyone who's competed who's lost definitely died. No one lived. Everyone has died in this event.
Is she been declared the winner?
She literally, this is, it's one of those things where in this moment, it's milliseconds. Like she raises her hands, it's like, ah! And the flame went off and the crowd is cheering, but no one has done anything yet. You still have that split second of an action.
I mean, if she'd been declared the winner already, I could wake back up. But if she hasn't, then I'm just
no one's been declared winner.
Keep going.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
You have a split second to act. Her next turn will, of course, be like, I'm the winner! Like that kind of thing.
I'm gonna try and surprise throw her in the fire.
Yes.
May the force be with you, dude.
I'll use the light side.
All right, upgrading.
I don't see how else. I feel like I die in any other scenario.
can't wait
You
for
were in the
this.
corner, dude.
I can't tie. If I lose, I get incinerated. If I fake dead, I get incinerated.
This is gonna be
Jesse's
great.
just giggling.
I know. Fuck.
God damn it.
Yeah, you stand up and go to push her and whiff. And the crowd's like, and it's suddenly silent as she turns around and sees that you're still
wait.
alive.
I keep going. How wide is the ring of flame? Can I jump it?
Oh no, it's very high. It's like super high.
No, but can I like jump?
It's a wall of flame.
Can I just like jump through it real quick?
Real quick.
You would be set ablaze. You're covered in oil.
That's true. I am covered in oil.
You
All
probably
right,
more
yeah.
so than anyone else. Yeah.
I miss.
Yeah, you totally miss, and she turns around to you and has this like, I thought you were dead look on her face. And you have shocked her, removing the black die when you have a chance. But it doesn't affect her turn, only yours. So she goes to grab you again.
I start like circling her again.
Sure. Yeah, the crowd is like, oh, everyone's losing their mind.
I'm bleeding
People
out my
hit-
head.
Yeah, people thought you were dead. You're like covered in blood, and she's just like, no. And she thought it was over. She thought she won the Hunger Games and totally failed. She goes to grab you one more time. Whiffs, totally misses. She's shook. You got her. She thought she had won. Let me remove her die. It is your turn.
I'm gonna sweep her leg as she lunges forward.
Yeah,
Finally.
you sweep her leg and she slams into the ground and sort of like scoops, like slurps her way across the ground as she like skids.
Slopes.
Yeah, just like into the ground, and you hear the entire arena in thud because she's so big and so muscular. And she's going to attempt to stand. Turns out this is one of her weakest abilities. We'll find out.
Coordination?
Yeah, we'll find out. She does. She makes it back up on her feet, but she's at the edge of the ring.
All right, I'm gonna try and get her in a sleeper hold.
Okay.
Nope.
No, you try to grab her and sort of get her in a sleeper hold.
That
She
neck
pushes
just
you
too
off.
thick.
Too thick. She pushes you off. And she goes back to try and grab you again and put you down once and for all. She grabs you and slams you to the ground again. She does no damage to you because you're not pinned, but she gets you back on the ground. What is your plan now?
I'm gonna use my discipline to latch onto her while I'm pinned and like tucker her out.
Okay. Yeah.
MMA style.
Go for it. Yeah, I mean, you latch on.
Just kidding.
It's not, no one's tuckered, but you latched on. She is going to try and slam you down to the ground again. But because you're latched on, you're like wrapped around her.
I'm like a monkey, a baby monkey.
Yeah, so her movement is a little messed up right now. And she fails. She tries to slam you, but she like slips. And the two of you sort of just flap on the ground again. And you're both just covered in goop. Your turn. What's the plan?
I'm gonna I guess grab her feet.
Okay.
And try and like cable toss her towards the fire.
All right, yeah. All right. I imagine this is a plan. Go for it.
All right. Nope.
No, you go for her feet.
Fuck
Try
these
to throw
dice.
her. You go her feet, try to throw her. Nothing.
It's gonna be
You
like 3
this-
hours of me wrestling. That's the show.
She goes for your feet to do the exact same thing. She grabs your feet, and now she has control of
God.
your feet. Next turn, she'll throw you into the fire. What is your plan?
I'm gonna slip and slide grease out of there.
Slip inside grease.
No, I'm not.
Oh, no, you have the advantage. She's gonna try and throw you into the fire.
I look forward to your new character.
I know, me too, dude.
Oh goodness. Here we go. This is going to be, what is this attack? What is a throw? I don't know that I know what a throw is. What would a throw?
I guess it would be a brawl roll.
It's not brawl.
Just
Brawl
athletics,
is like-
right? Maybe yeah. I mean, it's pure strength, isn't it? You're just hucking someone. She's already got my feet.
Is it an agility roll? Is that true? Coordination.
No,
Is-
I would have said it's just athletics. A throw is always determined by a
athletics
strength check.
wouldn't be throwing. Athletics would be running, jumping, climbing. Throwing a person is a different type of thing.
Are you saying
It would
that
be well because
the
we said
athletic-
we
Are you
did.
saying that the athletic sport, the sport shot put, is not an athletic sport anymore? Are you
I'm
discrediting?
saying it's a coordination sport because you have to spin, throw, and aim, and that is what running, jumping, climbing, throwing is athletics. Is that true, Claim BMT? Your athletic prowess versus theirs. Interesting. Okay. I just want to make sure that I.
He does really. He doesn't. You know, dude,
I
throw
mean-
me in the fire. This is an epic death.
This will be beautiful.
I want you to know if I go in the fire, ULAGO is dead. I'm down.
Doesn't
I'm
want
okay
to
with
be-
it.
Yeah, I want it to be fair. I don't want you like if you
Yeah,
die, I want it
no,
to be
look.
like a fair death.
I'm okay with it, dude.
All right.
I fought my hardest.
Sure. Okay. So this is an athletics roll. Are we sure about that? No point in playing without risk. Yeah, that's the whole point. All right. Let's go to town. Let's see what happens.
I got snood, dude. Like, what way to go?
Okay, so you have. Do you have any abilities that could protect you right now?
Nope.
Nothing on your character sheet can.
I'm
save
just
you?
a naked grease boy, bro.
Right, but is there any abilities that you have, like
No,
combat abilities?
they're all offensive and gun related.
I can't believe that's true. That's so fucking funny. Oh, goodbye. Goodbye. I can't believe that's true. You have something called brace.
What?
Perform a brace maneuver to remove
Yeah.
one blank rank per brace the next action. I'm going to move a black die.
Yeah, brace is like a weird combat thing related to cover. It removes setback dice imposed by like cover and stuff like that. It's
Gotcha.
not like a
What
fighting
about
thing.
crippling blow?
Are you
That
guys
is
doing like lawyer paperwork to make sure he doesn't die right now? Is that what's happening?
No, I'm just saying if I'm going to kill him, I want to make sure that we're good, that I've done all my
crippling,
things.
crippling blow only applies to like a combat check, so like an attack with a weapon.
Are you sure it's a weapon?
Well, it's a
'Cause
combat check.
Brawn
so
was
I
a
don't-
combat check. All right.
I've been rolling athletics. That's not a combat check.
Gotcha. Okay. Maybe his new character can at least fly.
You never told us about your identical twin brother.
Dude, I found so many rolls, dude. This is I've made my peace with it.
All right, let's do this thing. Let's see what happens. Let's see your
This is
fate.
the Hutt games.
This is the Hutt games. Yeah.
This ain't no kiddie school.
All right. No! Wow. Unreal. So she goes to throw you, and she spins out of control and falls to the ground. And now you have a chance.
It was slippery.
Yeah.
Who knew?
The luckiest roll. I tried to come up with ways to lawyer that to make sure if you died, it was a good death, but you have another chance, I guess.
Use the light side point.
I will try and grab her feet.
Oh.
She fell over. She span out. I'm gonna grab her feet.
Oh my god. All right, yeah. Do it.
This foot power struggles too much.
It's like, yes. Yeah, you grab her feet. And
next time I'm throwing her.
You have her. She attempts to struggle to escape. And she...
Wait, why did you black dice her to throw me?
Because it was always there. Ever since you got up and like stunned her that you were still alive, she's had a black die. So like for every roll that she's rolled, she's had a black die for that, except for the one where it wasn't. I didn't add it for some reason. I don't know why I rolled without it, but you can see she had a black die for all the others. Okay, she's going to try and grab you and keep you from doing that to her. God, she stops you from doing it. She grabs you and holds you again and gets out of your grapple.
All right, I'm gonna get her in one of those like overheads, you know, like two WWE wrestlers.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna get her in the shoulder to shoulder grapple in the middle of the ring. I'm assuming the fire's coming in as well.
The fire will be there shortly. The fire's in the middle of the ring right now.
Do we die when it comes in?
I mean, yeah, eventually if it hits the center of the ring, you will you'll burn up.
Like I'm just gonna get her in an old school WWE grapple.
Okay. Oh my god! All right, what's your triumph?
I grapple her, and what? Oh, I grapple her, and while we're grappled and we're ear to ear, I go, "How do we both get out of this?"
Oh.
She looks at you and says, "Play dead, stupid."
You play dead.
You play dead.
No, you play dead, because I've already got up, so...
You play dead. I have
you
plan.
play dead.
I have plan. You no plan.
I've got plan. You play dead.
And she looks at you and she's like, "No, my honor too strong.
So's mine.
Then we both die."
Do you really want to both die?
No.
Then play dead.
You play dead.
I already did it once.
Yes, and you bad at it. You stand back up. You play dead.
I thought you'd won already.
You bad at it.
You play
dead. If I'm so bad at it, then you play dead. If you're better at it
than me.
You play
dead. No, you play dead.
I'm going to suplex her.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
All right, roll the suplex.
Whew, the strain's getting high, dude.
Yeah, you suplex her down to the ground, and she slams into the ground.
As I'm suplexing, I'm going, "Play dead," and then I suplex her into the mat.
Yeah, you slam her into the ground, and she falls with a smack, and she looks up at you, her eyes like almost glazed over, and the entire arena erupts in a cheer, and she goes, "I play dead," and like just collapses. And everyone's like, "Yo!" And the crowd goes wild. And you can see that
his arms up.
You can see that in the upper booths, the Hutts are just like, and the flames slowly go down. And as they do, your name rings out up above, and you can see like the image of you that you see is how you look. And my friend, you do not look good. You are all like bruised and bloody. You are on death's door, and you see that you're behind you is this woman laying there, but like doors open in the side of the arena, and the guards / janitors come out ready to sweep her into the wall.
ULAGO stops them and goes, "No. She's my prize."
And they like look at each other and they're like, "Ugh." And then the Hutts like up above look at you, and the cameras like point up to the Hutts, and one of them sticks out.
I look at the Hutts and I go, "She's my prize."
Yeah, one of the Hutts like sticks out a thumb like this, and you can't tell what they're gonna do. And everyone in the crowd is like, prize, prize,
Yeah.
prize, prize, prize. And you remember, oh yeah, all these sons of bitches love slavery. So they're like, prize, prize, prize. And they like all cheer, and the Hutt goes, and then all the guys are like, yeah! And everyone's so thrilled and very excited that you have captured this woman and made her your prize.
And I didn't die.
Yeah. And I don't think they care about that anymore. They're
I
all
do.
really excited they got
I
to
care
watch like a
about that.
ridiculous battle. Yeah, you somehow had the luckiest roll of the day. But she pulls you, she like grabs onto your leg, and she looks up at you and goes, thank you. And sort of like collapses
He
again.
looks down and he goes, you're not actually my prize.
And you can see she's like so tired. It doesn't. I want to let you know that just going back up through the rolls, at a certain point, God, it was so long ago. At a certain point, she was 1 strain away from just passing out, and she never.
I am currently 2 strain from passing out.
She never rolled another
Dude,
strain
how
for
much-
like
what's your
6
strains
rolls.
threshold?
I just kept getting advantage. Fail
yeah, you
advantage,
wiping it
advantage,
out
and
and
it was,
getting it,
I was
okay.
just wiping out, and then it would come back, and then it would wipe out.
She
Nice.
was this close to just passing out on you. If she would have done it, you would have won anyway, because she would have just passed out and you could have pushed her in the fire. But she kept getting successes, and it was like, okay. So anyway, yeah, you as you sort of like grab her arm, and all the guards sort of back away from you, the arena erupts and you see your name everywhere, and everyone knows the name ULAGO, because ULAGO just put on the best show in 20 years of oil wrestling. And now you are definitely known throughout the city. And that is where we will end today.
It really was a whole session of wrestling.
It happened.
That
Don't
was
worry, next time we'll
fantastic,
start
though.
out with a whole session of DAEYO, Oda, and PR3 exploring a palace that you're not even involved with.
They'll just see me on the screen looking embarrassing.
Yeah. Just terrible beat up.
Damn it.
Okay. Wow, that was great. Good job, gang. I'm so glad that you all got to do something ridiculous. And none of you wanted to be in my oil wrestling. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. I'm not offended.
Look,
that I
it's
made
more
oil
that like
wrestling.
I didn't have the stats to be good at oil wrestling. That's what it was. And the only person that did have stats to be good at oil wrestling was DAEYO, and she was like, hell nah.
Well, some people just aren't comfortable in their skivvies. That's all.
It was a thing though, because you weren't rolling brawl. If it was rolling brawl, Dio would have annihilated it. But
What is the athletics is your brawl?
is
it might have been the exact same dice for you.
Athletics
Maybe.
is brawl.
Hold on.
I think you would have had 2 yellows and a green. You would have just slaughtered
No,
everyone.
my athletics is only 3 green, but my brawl is 2 yellows and a green.
Ah,
I don't know how that happens, but that's what
Wow.
it is.
I have better athletics then. Fuck.
and
Yeah.
better coordination.
Charisma.
Well, you're also, one of you is more like I move and shoot, and the other one is I stand here and mash people's faces in. So there's
You
a
big and
difference.
strong.
Yeah.
That's
I
why I
wanna
want
let
to do
you
the
know-
melee one, because she has 2 yellows and a green as well for that.
I don't know if you can see this, but I based the woman you fought after this card that's in the the actual character. Can you see her? This badass right here. Yeah, that lady. So she's tough as nails, and that is who you are fighting, or who you did fight. That's your friend. So there you go.
You want me to tell you the truth facts?
Yes, go on.
If you'd have killed me, I would have just asked if I could just take that character that killed me and become.
I would
my-
have been like,
my own
hell
murderer.
yes. Hell yes. I'd
That
be
was
like,
my plan.
yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
be cool.
I honestly, I'm gonna let you know, I thought you were dead. That's why I was so, I was like,
I thought I
need
was
to,
dead too.
I was like, I need to make sure every possible scenario where I don't screw you over.
Pressing every T, and I was like, Jesse, just roll the dice, dude. Just
I didn't want to be that guy who killed you and then someone show up and be like, actually, you did it wrong.
No,
'Cause I
I
think
get
that
that.
sucks. So I was like, all right, if I roll this and he ends up in the fire
it was
dead,
like
I don't
one
want
of
people
those
yelling
situations
at
where
me.
like I'm like stood there waiting to die, and then I have to like open one eye, and you're like, let me just, and I'm like, Jesse, I'm ready to die, and you're like, well, no, I just have to make sure.
It's like that scene in the Rock Hercules where the guy's like waiting to die and the Rock catches the spear and he's like, that was my destiny. He's like, shut up. It's like,
Yeah.
it's exactly like that. Yeah.
It's literally that where he catches the spear.
So yeah, you made it out. That was amazing.
Did you see what
Okay.
Drummer Boy said? I'm so glad Ulago isn't dead because character themes are so hard to write.
We'll just rename it. It's fine.
Yeah, right. Goodness. So okay. I don't know. Do I have to go? Do I have to? Is there a chat open right now? Are we? Do we have time for questions? Or are we a hard out? What is our life right
I'm gonna
now?
let you know that I have DoorDash and I'll be running up to grab it, but that's about all I have going on.
We don't
I
have
mean,
to do much.
you can just grab chat questions, but
Yeah, I mean, real quickly, let's just do a few chat questions. If like chat has one or two questions, we'll take them. We'll just go through it. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Your thoughts on this episode. While we wait for the chat to write out something, gang, do any of you have thoughts or comments about what you're getting into or what to prepare for?
I can't wait to swoop bike race.
how do
As a
I want to know how
clumsy
the rest of
robot.
the cast feel about the fact that if I could die, any of them can die in their Hutt game.
Yeah, that would really suck.
Yeah.
You're muted, Oda.
Oda is just so ill-suited to any of these games, so it felt bad because I was like, I want to help, but I do have an idea. I have an idea for nerf throwing.
Good. I'm glad. I was like, that's actually a very good thing for a Jedi. That
You should
just use the Force
to make it go further.
yeah,
I bet that'd be a great
idea.
Because Oda doesn't like the idea of like abusing animals, so luckily her nerf can be force assisted. Hopefully,
Maybe it depends on what you roll. Maybe you roll dark side and you have to use the dark
Wait,
side to throw it.
And nerfs like animals?
they're
Yeah,
giant,
nerfs are.
they're like bulls.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like you get those little American footballs with like the fins on the back, the Nerf balls. I thought
Yeah,
he was talking about one of
Nerf or
those
nothing.
this whole time. I didn't know he was talking about like a little critter.
Like Scruffy
No.
Nerfer.
Yeah, it's what Leia calls Han, nerf herder, just like a cowhand, I guess. But that's you have to throw one. It's a weird sport. I went and looked up canonical Star Wars sports for this, and I picked the craziest ones I could find. So yeah, I wanted nerf herder for sure. I was like, the Hutts would love people to throw cows. Hilarious. Swoop bike racing is, that's a thing from old Star Wars canon that if you ever played any of like Shadows of the Empire, swoop bike gangs were a thing. And then the gladiatorial stuff. I'm not saying I have plenty of things for you, DAEYO, but just get ready. It's gonna be great.
Wait,
And
did
then
you
you all have to compete in a 5v5 game. I can't wait. That's gonna be so much fun. And Cheezle will be on your team.
question? Did you
Yes.
expect DAEYO to pick the gladiatorial one?
No, I thought I was gonna have to force Oda to go into battle with a lightsaber.
Oh,
That was
I'm
my
glad
scheme the
I
entire time, is
went.
to force her to go fight and be like, I don't have a weapon, and be like, yes, you do. That's what I wanted
DAEYO's
originally.
like, I have a weapon.
Yeah, I will
Yeah.
gladly take that as well, because that'll be a great fight too. So, plus you're tanky as hell, so I don't expect you to get like sammed around and like thrown everywhere and murdered
be
immediately.
fair, I'm also not gonna go in naked, so
Yeah, to be fair, that you will.
I
have
went in
armor.
naked and I won naked. All right.
I'm just saying, I'm not. I just imagine the end screen, like the end moment when we're RPing our next week. We just look at this monitor or the screen, and we just see Ulago butt ass naked, covered in oil, bleeding and bruised, and we're just like, what the hell?
I'm not saying I need fan art of that, but I will gladly show fan art of that at the beginning of next episode. If you want to, like just a green man all oiled up with tattoos all over his body, and he's like, oh, I would love that. I'm not saying that I would show that, but when I get fan art, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, this would be great. And then I always like retweet it. And then by the time we get to the episode, because it's always sent on a Monday, I always forget. This time I won't forget. This time, not only will I retweet it, I will bring it to JP and be like, post this immediately. Maybe next week I'll just have a bunch of the fun fan art we've gotten so far up there.
Like
so if
a fan art showcase at the end of the episode.
yeah, that'd be super fun. I would love to, if you have any, I'd love to see it. I know the stuff that we have, I've liked it all, so I have to go back through my likes and find all the good stuff and put it up there. But send us more. I would definitely want to see ULAGO covered in oil. I think we all do though, really. Okay. Anything else
lived it.
from the four of you as we answer some of these questions real quick?
Answer away.
Cool. At Jessica Cox, how much of a badass would the little creepy guy, assume you mean Cheezle, be in the team fight? I can't answer that question. That'd be a massive spoiler. He could be terrible. You never know. It depends on how he rolls.
He will be terrible. He will be terrible.
Bike, would you remake a droid, or what's a backup character for anyone? Oh, great question. We almost had a death today. What would everyone's backup character be? Who would you be if you died?
I'm incredibly attached to the droid, so I'd probably make either another one or cheese it and make like a PR4.
Here's the thing: if you died, your droid, they could just like put you back together.
True.
You'd have you could probably still be PR3, but have different parts. Like your body would be different, but you could keep the head.
It would definitely be fun to roleplay. Icky new parts, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're a droid. You could probably make it through. Art, like 3PO literally was split into pieces and almost thrown in a giant furnace. So I think you could probably make it. I don't know. But also droids have died. Like it's a thing. What about the rest of you? Pocket, who, like, if you had to make a backup character, who would you be? What inspires you?
I mean, if I could be honest, I'd really like it to be the sister.
That's badass. That's super badass. Yeah, that's great. That's a fantastic choice.
Yeah.
Anna, what would you choose?
I like the smuggler angle. I think it's really interesting against the backdrop of a Jedi. But it would also be really fun to play not against the backdrop of a Jedi and have a little bit more like moral ambiguity to play with.
Sure.
So I think I would go with like a street brawler, smuggler, like kind of person. See how that goes.
Awesome. Yeah. I would say that if I died as a DM, I would probably respawn as someone like Dr. Afra, like a smart, streetwise, like basically a snarky, evil Indiana Jones. That's all I want. What a great character. Shout out to the new Star Wars stuff. Best character. Anyway.
I don't know who I'd be, but in the spur of the moment, I was like, I'm just going to ask Jesse if I can be the person that killed me.
Yeah, I thought that's what your
obviously
choice would be. I wasn't even going to ask you because I thought your choice was a good one to begin with. I was like, I don't need to ask Sam. He would have just been that lady, which is incredible. That's a great.
That isn't planned though. That was just like this thing's in front of me.
But that's an incredible choice. Like I just assumed, I was like, that's brilliant. Yeah, that would have been a great thing to add to the party as well. Like, oh yeah, I'm the guy, or like I'm the lady who killed your friend.
Yeah,
that'd be crazy. I love that idea.
Jesse.
Yes.
Whose obligation was it? Bikes.
It was Bikes.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
he threatened to me earlier.
Yeah, the reason why we dropped some Bike hints, again, bless all your sweethearts. I keep dropping hints about Bike, and y'all are just like, all right, so should we go explore the castle?
I mean, I think it's something that like we don't. I think I would say that DAEYO's kind of on to PR3 right now because she knows Hutt's enough to be like, they're not saying any of that. That's not how these people are. These things are. Like DAEYO's smart enough to know that's not how Hutts are. And so she knows now that he was probably lying.
It's just so funny. It cracks me up that everyone, the three of you, we will go down every path to like unlock your stories. Meanwhile, the Hutt's like, PR3, you're the most dangerous one of all. And you're all like, all right, let's get the castle exploring.
But he didn't tell us that.
It's because I am aware at this point that PR3 will not say shit. And I cannot make him say shit, so I just don't press it. 'Cause he'll just be cryptic as hell and be like, "We must find my master."
I do think DAEYO is catching on to stuff though, and just like I would say she's catching on to something's not right.
Something is definitely not right.
And
Something
he had
is
the
definitely
highest
not right.
bounty. Like if you're a bounty hunter and you see he has the highest bounty, you're like, who'd you piss off and what do you know? Like she's not dumb. She's like, okay, we're gonna have to discuss this later. So
Well,
I'm a
we will
special
certainly-
snowflake.
we'll
Olago
have
was
to discuss it later.
pretty offended at the bounty prices, by the way.
I definitely did that on purpose. Yeah.
I've literally killed so many people with a gun, and I'm like sitting at the bottom, and I'm like,
Well,
what do I have to do?
They can't find him.
What do I have to do?
That should, if anything, that should tell the audience a little more about your backstories. If ULAGO, who is like a killer soldier, is worth less than DAEYO, Oda, and PR3, it should definitely tell you more about who these characters are. And if PR3 is worth more than a Jedi,
yeah, that's the surprising thing. He's worth more than a Jedi. That's a lot.
I'm opulent, okay?
Yeah.
I'm opulent. I want a T-shirt that says that.
Good one.
We need, see, that's why we need that fan art. We need just a sassy droid that's like, I'm opulent. Okay. That's it for us today. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you all next Thursday with another episode. Next time, I'm going to roll random and we'll see which event takes place. Let's hope it's not the Arena 5v5 because ULAGO needs to sleep. ULAGO needs to rest.
Jeez.
We will
Take
find
that
out.
one off the list. It can't be that one.
We'll find out. We'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
You know, where's the payoff? Bring the strippers and booze. We do occasionally talk about video games. Bring the strippers and booze. Not enough time for video games. Bring the strippers and booze.
Oh, thank God, I don't need pants now.
Hey, JC, what are you doing? Not much. Making a fortune.
Yeah, now sing music.
Bring the strippers and booze.
I'm here to ask and answer one simple question.
You